with other ACMA proposals, the deadline for public comment to the regulator is July 1st. The National Radio Astronomy Observatory in Green Bank, West Virginia, is offering a select group of young students an opportunity to study the electromagnetic spectrum, as we hear from Cell MB, KB3TZD.
20 science-minded students between the ages of 18 and 20 are being given an opportunity to enroll in an intensive course about the electromagnetic spectrum being hosted by the National Radio Astronomy Observatory in Green Bank, West Virginia. This is the second year the observatory has conducted the course, which begins in September of this year and runs through May of 2024. The program is being overseen by the observatory's Director of Diversity and Inclusion and is funded by a grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications. A special effort is being made to find enrollees who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color, as well as students from the LGBTQIA community who wish to gain experience, particularly as it applies to amateur radio and any future careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. Students accepted into the 40-week program will receive a stipend of $4,000. Lindell Von Schill, Director of Diversity and Inclusion, can be reached for questions at her email address at lvonschI@nrao.edu. The observatory is a facility of the National Science Foundation. This is Cell MB, KB3TZD.
A founding member of a popular net that's a fixture on 80 meters has become a silent key. We hear about him from Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
John Knipping, AA9KC, was one of the original freewheelers on 3916 kilohertz. In November of 1998, he answered a call put out by Ken Odom, W4FCW, on 3916 kilohertz. And out of that early QSO bloomed a friendship and ultimately a popular net where everyone was welcome. John became a silent key on April 29th at the age of 92. According to his online obituary, he was a Korean War veteran, a musician, and a member of the Egyptian Radio Club. The tradition of easy camaraderie lives on, however. The net continues to make new friends and welcoming old ones every night on 80 meters, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
A reminder to our listeners that there's more to Amateur Radio Newsline this month than just this newscast. If you're going to Xenia, Ohio for Hamvention, be sure to stop in Forum Room 2 Friday, May 19th, starting at 11:35 a.m. local time. The popular Town Hall Forum is back after many years, and we have 3 guests. Riley Hollingsworth, K4ZDH, will take questions about the ARRL Volunteer Monitor Program. IARU President Tim Elam, VE6SH, will discuss issues facing the IARU that affect amateurs worldwide. And Mark Smith, N6MTS, will take questions about a proposal to standardize headset connectors for interoperability. Come along and join us. Time to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the shortwave broadcast station of shortwaveradio.de in Lower Saxony, Germany on 6160 kilohertz AM. The station's European summer schedule will be 0700 to 1700 UTC weekends, 1500 to 1700 UTC Monday through Friday. Broadcasts can also be heard from 1700 to 2300 UTC daily on 3975 kilohertz AM. In Australia and in the UK, hams will be milling about, literally, for this outdoor special event. We learned the details from John Williams, VK4JJW.
There's more to mills than wheat, corn, or flour. Some mills can produce QSOs. Well, at least that's what's going to be the case in Australia during the Mills on the Air radio event being held in conjunction with the Mills on the Air taking place at the same time in the UK. That'll be the 13th and 14th of May. Hams are on the air activating the mills and also hoping to score points at the same time for Soto, Pota and the worldwide flora and fauna. The Bendigo Amateur Radio and Electronics Club is proud to be the first to get things started in 2017 with the activation of Anderson's Mill in Smeaton, Victoria. But now mill activations are grinding along quite nicely throughout Australia. They'll be joining more than 300 windmills and watermills being activated throughout the UK to celebrate its industrial heritage. If you wish to receive a certificate from the Denby Dale Amateur Radio Society, which organises the event in the UK, be sure to register there at the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
A space-based cellular phone network that relies on satellites instead of towers may not be so far off as you think. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, has that story.
Imagine being able to have a cell phone signal delivered directly to your mobile device from space instead of from a cell tower. 2 smartphone users reported recently they had just that experience. A call between a phone user in Texas and another in Japan was reportedly routed through a low Earth orbit satellite manufactured by AST Space Mobile. These were standard, unmodified smartphones, a Samsung Galaxy S22 in Texas, and an iPhone in Japan. The Blue Walker 3 satellite that made the call possible is powerful enough to pick up cell phone signals from over 1,000 miles away, thanks to an array of 100,000 individual antenna elements on board. Smartphones and satellites typically do not share the same part of the spectrum for direct communication, leaving phones to rely on local cell towers instead. According to an article in The Verge, AST Space Mobile was able to adapt its network architecture so it was similar to Third Generation Partnership Project, or 3GPP, the standard that cell networks use. Some smartphones are already capable of message-based satellite routing solutions in emergencies, but a full service call with voice connection like this is said to be breaking new ground. The article said there will be further testing. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Hams in the UK are marking the 80th anniversary of the famous World War II Dam Busters raid. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us what's involved.
The Royal Air Force sent a squadron of bombers into the night to complete a mission known as Operation Chastise, but better known as the Dam Busters Raid. Its targets in the heart of industrial Nazi Germany's Ruhr Valley were 3 dams for destruction, but which were heavily protected from any underwater or air assault. The successful mission, which set off on the 16th of May 1943, is being commemorated from the 14th to the 16th of May this year by the Stockport Radio Society with the call sign GB0DBA. Stockport is an industrial town in Greater Manchester, a region with strong ties to the mission that employed the now famous bouncing bombs. The planes modified to carry bombs were manufactured at Chadderton and assembled at Woodford. The air crew trained over the Derwent Reservoir. Manchester University has a building dedicated to Barnes Wallis, the creator of the bouncing bomb, and to Wing Commander Guy Gibson, who was later proposed as a candidate for the UK Parliament. Listen on the HF bands with a focus on 20 and 40 metres for operators using SSB, CW and RTTY. There will also be radio activity on VHF using FM, C4FM and FT8 on 2 metres, and SSB and CW using the QO100 satellite. Please visit the QRZ.com page of GB0DBA for QSL details. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Hams are getting ready to participate once again in the Armed Forces Day Crossband Test, an exercise with an important mission. Jack Parker, W8ISH, explains.
From Robbins Air Force Base in Georgia to Camp Foster in Okinawa, military stations will be making two-way radio contacts with amateur radio operators on various ham frequencies as part of an important interoperability test that has united hams and government radio operators for half a century. This year, the Armed Forces Day Crossband Test will be held on May 13th, testing two-way communications between hams and the military. It's an important exercise that does not have any impact on the use of bands by hams or other private radio operators. All communications are conducted on upper sideband unless the instructions specify otherwise. An internet search for DoD Mars Armed Forces Day provides complete information, including participating stations, time periods, and details about QSL cards. Created in 1925, the Military Auxiliary Radio System, also known as MARS, relies on the skills of more than 3,000 civilians, most of them licensed ham radio operators who assist the U.S. military with communications at every level from local to international, especially in emergency situations. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Time is running out to nominate your choice for Amateur Radio Newsline's Bill Pasternak Young Ham of the Year Award. Candidates must reside in the continental United States and be a licensed ham 18 years of age or younger. We're looking for someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations close on May 31st. That's at the end of this month. If you've ever been troubled by noisy speakers, no, we don't mean the kind you suffer through at an awards banquet, our final story of this week may be of interest to you. We should advise you, however, the solution to this problem is somewhat bizarre, even in the opinion of its creator. Here's Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, with that story.
When Richard Langer received a second-hand DAB radio from a friend, he realized right away that listening to it at lower volume was going to be a challenge. There was a noticeable scratching sound that went away only if the radio volume was made louder. Using the kind of ingenuity we amateurs also know quite well, Richard tried to find a way to fix the problem without the need to replace the speaker. Looking among some everyday household items, Richard ultimately got to the bottom, yes, we do mean bottom, of the situation. He reached for a roll of toilet tissue. The speaker's paper cone had apparently warped, causing the voice coil to rub against the magnet assembly. The friction had worn out the insulation on the turns of the coil and taken it out of proper alignment. Crumpling the toilet tissue, he determined that if he inserted it just at the right spot between the cone and the metal housing, it would exert sufficient pressure to restore the alignment. The result, good noise-free sound. Richard shared this simple solution in a recent video on his YouTube channel. The solution was picked up as well by the website Hackaday. With a clever permanent solution as close as one's own bathroom, Richard is no doubt pleased there will be no need for the little radio to be flushed. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
With thanks to the ACMA, Amateur News Weekly, AMSAT News Service, the ARDC, ARRL, CQ Magazine, David BR, K7DB, Dignity Memorial, DX World, the FCC, 425DX News, Hackaday, Legacy.com, Mars, Maine Monitor, Mills on the Air, News Center Maine, QRZ.com, shortwaveradio.de, 3916 Freewheelersnet, U.S. Department of Defense, The Verge, YouTube, and you, our listeners, that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org, and know we appreciate you all. We also remind listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
W8WKY, time out.
The weekly Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes.
W8WKY.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
CQ. This is Whiskey 8, Whiskey Kilo Yankee, calling CQ for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. Net control this evening is Javan W8UA. This net uses a club call sign Whiskey 8, Whiskey Kilo Yankee for all traffic. This is a control net, and all traffic must pass through net control. Emergency traffic may break into this net at any time. Sarah meets on this repeater every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. This net is open to all licensed amateurs, and any amateur is encouraged to check in and join us. The PL tone for this repeater is 114.8. We'll go through some announcements, followed by a round of in and out check-ins. Then we'll move to regular check-ins and get our trivia question. Here are tonight's announcements. The next Sarah meeting will be held next Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m. at the Eagles facility in Wadsworth. The address is 9953 Rittman Road in Wadsworth. Additional information available at w8wky.org/meetings. I'm sure a few you'll be eating a pre-meeting meal together at the substation in Wadsworth. And our program this month will be conducted by Jason McCormick, N8EI. Jason will be discussing the installation and his results of using a Gap Titan vertical HF antenna. Those are all the announcements I have for this week, so we'll open it up to anybody else who has announcements for the Tuesday Night Net. Please call W8WKY.
WO3X with an announcement.
All right, we got WO3X with an announcement. Anybody else with announcements, please call. All right, nothing heard. Take it away, John. WO3X, your announcement.
Yeah, thanks. This is WO3X. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is having a volunteer exam session this Saturday. That's May 13th at the Cuyahoga Falls Library on 2nd Street. The test will start at 10:30, so get there around 10 o'clock. And you have to pre-register and make sure that you have your FRN. To pre-register, go to our website at www.cfarc.org. Click on the Education tab, and then scroll down, and there's a big button there to register for an exam. There is no fee for the exam because it's a LARL session, not ARRL. So you only have to deal with the FCC for that fee. So with that, back to the net. This is WO3X.
All right, well, thank you for the announcement there, John. Appreciate the info on the testing session, and that's good to know. For any new licensees or anybody looking to upgrade, check out the details there, cfarc.org, and pre-registration is required, so check out the details ahead of time. All right, with that, we're going to open up the net here to some check-ins. First up, we'll take in and out check-ins for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. Anybody wishing to check in and out, please call W8WKY.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Victor Mike Whiskey, Jim in Barberton.
Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo, Phil in Canal Fulton with no traffic.
8, Sarah Foxhole Fair, Mark in Wadsworth, Ohio. In and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Kilo Oscar, K8QKO, Nick and Akron, in and out.
In and out.
November 8, Delta Romeo Delta, N8DRD, Don and Marshallville, in and out. AB8OU, Coventry.
November 8th, Whiskey Sugar, Bill in New London. In and out, good listening.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Carry it, Portage Lakes, in and out.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Kilo Oscar Charlie, Fred in Akron.
Kilo Zulu 8, Bravo Lima Delta, Brian, Canal Fulton, Ohio, in and out. KZ8, BLB.
Kilo Charlie 3, Quebec Foxtrot Charlie, Mike from Titusville, PA, KC3, QFC, in and out.
W8WKY.
All right, let me pick it up.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton, in and out.
All right, let me pick it up. We'll pick it up there and read back who we got. We got WB8 VMW, WB3K, KE8SFS, KE8QKO, N8DRD, AB8OU, N8WS, W8CTM, WA8KOC, KZ8BLD, KC3QFC, and KA8MNT. Anybody else in and out, please call.
KE8SDQ Ryan, in and out.
Roger in Canton, in and out.
KD8EPC, Dustin and Medina, in and out.
TKI, Donovan and Talmadge, in and out.
This is Kilo Echo 8, Papa Whiskey Tango, James and Cuyahoga Falls, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, India Mike Echo, David, Sterling, Ohio, in and out.
Okay, let me pick it up. All right, that round, we got KE8SDQ, KD8EPC, KE8QKI, KE8PWT, and KE8IME. All right, let's try Roger from Worcester, I believe. Can you give your call sign to me one more time? All right, nothing heard there. Must have missed that up. All right, we're going to make one last call for in-and-out check-ins. Anybody else? For in-and-out, please call.
WA8KOC, recheck.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Romeo, Quebec. Roger in Canton, in and out.
All right, we got KE8URQ. Thanks for that, Roger, from Canton. And then we got a recheck from WA8KOC. Fred, do you want to be put on the regular list?
No, thanks, Javan, but I hope you have a great net tonight. It sounds like it's starting off really well. I just wanted to mention that Roger's call sign was KE8URQ, but now that he's identified again, you don't need my information. Talk to you later, 7-3, WA8KOC clear.
Nope, well, thanks for that, Fred. Really appreciate it. And, yeah, confused the two, I guess. Canton and Worcester, I guess, confused me was from Rogers coming from that repeater, so... Anyways, thanks for that, and thanks to all the in-and-out check-ins there. With that, let's move over to regular check-ins if you're looking to join the Sarah Tuesday Night Net and answer the trivia question here and share anything with the group. Now is the time to call. Please call W8WKY.
W8WKY, Whiskey Delta 8, Lima Alpha, Neo and Brewster.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, KE8CQX, Joe in Akron.
November Tango 8 Delta NT8D Dave and Copley.
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Lima Bravo, Randy and Ribman, KE8 TLB.
SLG Nick in Orville.
Kilo Echo 8 Uniform India Bravo, KE8 UIB, John in Massillon.
Kilo Golf 4 Sierra Charlie Kilo, Mark Copley.
Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, WO3X, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry from Shreve.
All right, let me pick it up and read back who we've got so far. Okay, that round we got WD8LLA, KE8VQX, NT8D, KE8TLB, KD8SLG, KE8UIB, KG4SCK, WO3X, and KC8HDP. Anybody else for regular check-ins for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net, please call.
Alpha 8, Charlie Sierra, this is Gary in Fairlawn.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Golf, Brian in Norton, in and out.
All right, we got AA8CF and KF8G in and out. All right, well, with that, I think that'll do it for now. We're going to go over and get a trivia question for this evening. Usually get a break and pass it over to someone else for the trivia question. But today I have one for you guys, so we'll be coming up right after this. All right, so the question for this evening is, which class, all right, let me start over because I already messed it up. Which class of amplifier is least capable of linear amplification? Again, the question is, which class of amplifier is least capable of linear amplification? The answers are, or potential answers are, A, alpha, B, the answer is B, Bravo. For letter C, the answer would be C, Charlie. And for answer D, it would be AB, as in Alpha Bravo. Again, let me go through those answers one more time here. It wasn't clear. The answer number A, the answer is A, Alpha. For B, it's B, Bravo. For C, type is C, Charlie. And for D, the amp type is Alpha Bravo, AB. So again, that's the which class of amplifier is least capable of linear amplification of those four options. So let's read back through the net here at the list that we got for regular check-ins and go to the list and see what everybody thinks of the trivia question and what else has been going on. So first up, let's talk with Neil, WD8LLA. Good morning, Neil. How are you?
W8WKY, WD8LLA. Good afternoon. I guess it's evening now. Everything's pretty good here. We've been busy packing to go to the lake, and takes about a week to going back and forth to get everything hauled down there every year. Anyway, hadn't been on the radio much. 40 and 80's been pretty well wiped out, so that's the story here. Good evening to you, Javan, and everybody on the net tonight. Thanks for running the net. You guys put a lot of work into this. WD8LLA, I'll take Class C. I'll do C. So back to net control.
All right, very good there, Neil. Well, great to hear you this afternoon or evening here, and thanks for checking in with us. We got you down for letter C. All right, next on the list is Joe, KE8VQX. Good evening, Joe. How are you doing? And what's your answer to tonight's trivia question?
W8WKY.
W8WKY, this is KE8VQX. Hi, Javan, and everyone on the net. Man, I don't know about that. I just took the general not too long ago, and there was a question about linear versus other amplifiers. And I have two non-hams sitting here listening in, trying to light a fire under each of them. Anyways, we're going to go with D-Dog Delta for the Alpha Bravo amplifier. So that's our answer. We're sticking with it. W8WKY, this is KE8VQX. Back to net.
All right, very good, Joe. Well, we got you down for D Delta, and hello to all the listeners out there. Definitely welcome to join in whenever possible. All right, let's see who's next on the list. Next up is Dave, NT8D. Morning, Dave, or let's see, good morning. Good evening, Dave. I almost forgot what time of day. I'm used to doing the barometer net every Saturday morning. I guess I was thinking about that. I was thinking about your Monday net when I said good morning. Anyways, how are you, Dave? How's the barometer net been with you? And what's going on?
Howdy there, Javan. Everybody on the net, all the listeners. Yeah, sometimes when I fill in for other folks, I'm sure people think it's Monday when it's not. So, yeah, Tuesday evening. Nice to hear you this evening. Look forward to seeing some folks at the meeting next Thursday. What's going on? It took me 3.5 days, but the garage is cleaned out, and I can put the boat and the car in the garage at the same time. Let's see. I think I'm going to contract with a sailmaker. Waiting to hear from the crane guy. It's May. Looking forward to first summer to start. And I'm going to get there by hook or by crook, one or the other. I'm going to pick A Alpha for the answer to the trivia question. So far, I think we have every answer picked except B Baker. So hopefully we'll keep Ron's memory happy there. I hope he's doing well at his residence, and I think about him all the time. So I think there's one more letter to pick. It's been a long time since I took any of them tests, so I don't even want to talk about that. And Javan, I heard you did a great job doing an antenna modeling demonstration in Maslin the other day. I'm going to suggest that you do that for the Sarah Club one of these days. Back to net control, W8WKY, NTAD.
All right, very good, Dave. Well, yes, I hope to do that at some point. Now that my schedule's opened up a little bit more, it'll make it more possible to do something like that. But yeah, it's been going back to about Ron. It's been quite a while since he's been on the barometer net and even also on the Tuesday night net here. With the barometer net, I guess it's probably been close to 4 years now since we've heard him. So quite a while. And again, I hope he's doing well there. So, anyways, Dave, great to hear from you. We got you down for letter A, Alpha, and again, we'll hope to catch you on some of the barometer nets in the morning. All right. I guess speaking of barometer net regulars, I think most of the list here is present on at least several of the barometer nets throughout the week. But Randy is quite common on there. KE8TLB. Good morning, Randy. Man, I did it again. Oops, I did it again. All right, Randy, KE8TLB. Good evening. Let's try it again. How are you?
Hey, Javan. This is Kilo Echo 8, Tango Lima Bravo, Randy and Rittman, KE8TLB. Doing pretty good, Javan. Yeah, I heard about your seminar on the antennas, and I think you did the Sarah Club a couple years ago, and I missed it, and I really wanted to be there. But yeah, hoping and look forward to seeing you on there at the meeting one time for that, or seeing you at the meeting every month would be great. But yeah, I'm putting up an antenna for my TV, and I bought a clear view or something like that antenna. It actually has a dipole on it, and I guess it's supposed to bring in like channel 8 a little bit better. So yeah, I haven't got it up yet. I got the antenna the other day and got it together. I still got to get some coax and some other things, and I've been kicking around about putting a booster on it to help boost the signal. I got an antenna up now, and it really doesn't do a very good job, but it gets a couple of the local channels in. I'm going to go with B for the trivia question. Okay, well, I'll get off of here, and this is Kilo Echo 8, Tango Lima Bravo, and y'all have a 73. Y'all have a great evening, and God bless. And Javan, thanks for running that this evening. You always do a great job.
All right, thanks, Randy. And yes, I forgot about that. I think I can't recall now. It's been a couple of years. It must have been in 2020. I think I did do some presentation for the club, but I can't recall what it was. I think it was something about antennas, but it's been so long, and I forget, and I'm sure everybody else did as well. So who knows? Maybe we could do something again now that we're back in person. Again, that was during COVID, I think, when we did them first on WebEx, I think, and then on Zoom finally. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. And anyways, good luck there with antenna projects, Randy. Definitely report back as to how all that stuff works out. And also, we got you down for B Bravo for the trivia question. All right, next on the list here is Nick, KD8SLG. Good evening, Nick. I got it that time. I had to consciously think about that that time for the what time of day it is. Anyways, Nick, how are you doing? Got any interesting projects going on and making big plans for Field Day coming up in a couple weeks?
W8WKY, this is KD8SLG, and good evening, Javan, and all of the club netizens out here on the club net tonight. Good to hear everybody. Let's get trivia out of the way before I forget. I'm going to go with Charlie, because since Eric's not here and I don't know the answer, I go with Charlie. What else? Let's see. All right, well, Wednesday. We'll be linking up the Boredom Breaker net tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock our time. I'll link us up a couple minutes beforehand, and Dustin will be sitting in the big chair there, and I'll be punching away on NetLogger, and I'm using the masses in the blue screen. So stop by and indulge. Ohio has been making a very serious impact on that hour every Wednesday, and thank all of you who've been attending. We've been doing about 40 check-ins during that hour, and between 12 and 15 of them have been from Ohio. So that's pretty cool. Participation is what keeps it going. And, of course, tomorrow night is the Beacon Net at 10 o'clock. Early check-ins at 9:30, and I'll be doing the pre-show, and Dustin will be sitting in the big chair again. So if you're a night owl and you want to light up the nighttime airwaves with us, stop by the Beacon Net. Javan, you did a fine modeling presentation there on Friday night, and as I recall, one of the samples you used was the antenna that we will be using for field day, which is 6 weeks and 4 sleeps away. So I hope to really get together with a bunch of all y'all at the club meeting and really get some assignments down and a few more commitments on time. But we've already got some really good radios lined up, and of course we're going to be using that fabulous antenna and all of those filters again to make all 5 bands work on one antenna. It's exciting. I'll see y'all there, and I'll see y'all at the meeting next week. And I heard a strange call sign in here. It was AA8 something. I haven't heard that guy in a while. I don't know who it was. This is KD8SLG, back to net control.
All right, very good, Nick. Well, yeah, I'm getting excited for field day already, coming up in, man, just over a month, I guess. So, yeah, time is going fast, for sure. So rapidly approaching that, of course, get on your calendars. I don't have it in front of me right now. I know that I should, and I'm trying to get it rapidly while I speak. I know it's sometime in June it would have to be. I think it's at the last full weekend of June. I'm looking at the club calendar. I don't see it up there yet. So we're going to have to get that up there. It'll be on the website before too long. We'll get the field day weekend marked out so you can get on your calendar schedules and plan to attend. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Is this going to be at the Legion in Rittman once again? Back to you, KD8SLG. This is W8WKY.
KD8SLG returning. Absolutely, it's going to be at the Legion Hall in Rittman, where we've had it in previous years with all of its air-conditioned, flush toilet, full kitchen beauty. So we will not be roughing it for field day, and it's June 24th into the 25th. So I've been telling everybody to put it on their calendars for a while, and I've actually made some people do it in their phones in front of me. This is KD8SLG, back to net control.
All right, very good, Nick. Well, yep, we got that here. Again, June 24th and 25th here of this year, 2023. Again, in Rittman, as we've always been. Great location, as you said. Air conditioning, indoor restrooms, that's always a good thing. And great food as well, prepared in a nice kitchen. So always a great time here at Field Day. Not out, let's see, I shouldn't compare it to other clubs, but can I say it's a little bit more comfortable than our friends to the northeast. So anyways, thanks, Nick, for that. And we will look forward to Field Day coming up in a couple weeks. And we got you down for C for the trivia question. All right, let's continue with the list here. Next up is another barometer, not regular. And I got to say good evening to John. KE8UIB. Good evening, John. How are you? And what's your answer to tonight's trivia question?
W8UA, KE8UIB. Good evening, Javan, everybody out there on the net. As far as the trivia question, I know this is one of those ones that was studied during the general. My brain is wiped, but I want to choose D for Delta and see where I end up because it just sounds familiar. So, with that being said, me and the missus both have had a couple really long last couple work weeks for sure. Both her job and mine have just been kind of crazy busy. And then my oldest daughter, she is pregnant with twins, and she is a month out from her due date, and ended up spending her weekend down in the hospital. So we've had the oldest granddaughter. So it's been busy, that's for sure. That's for sure. But you guys know how that goes. I still live that $5 dream a nickel at a time. That is for sure. But other than that, everything's going good for sure. With that, I'll hand this back over to you, Javan. This is KE8UIB, back to net control, 7-3, y'all.
All right there, John. Well, I definitely wish all the best for the family. Hopefully everything goes okay with that. And, yeah, again, hopefully all goes well. Well, we got you down for D Delta, and thank you for that. All right, we'll continue on with the list. Next up is Mark KG4SCK. Good evening, Mark. How are you doing?
Hello again, Javan. I'm doing great. Hope everyone else is doing as good or better. Yeah, I've just been playing around with this new FTM 500, taking it into the car, into the house, back in the car, back in the house, watching videos. Currently watching the FTM 400 video on APRS and converting that to the 500 settings, and just got my ambiguity tweaked. So I'm coming along step by step. The least compatible linear, I'm going to think you said amplifier, and yeah, I don't recall that on the general test either, but I'm going to pick Delta, Alpha Bravo. It's just a swag. And that's it. Back over to W8WKY net control, KG4SCK.
All right, very good, Mark. Well, sounds great. We got you down for D Delta for the trivia question answer. And sounds great about the FTM 500. I know you and Nick, I think, both have that new radio. So very cool. Glad you're having fun with that here this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your day, Mark. And we'll talk with you later. All right, next on the list is John, WO3X. Good evening, John. How are you doing? And what's going on, and what's your answer to tonight's trivia question?
Good evening, Javan, and all on the net. This is WO3X. Well, not a whole lot going on. I did some antenna tower work on Friday and successfully completed what I wanted to do. So that went faster than I thought it was going to. And so regarding the trivia question, I've been working with these classes since I was about 7 years old. So and that was with tubes. And right around that time, transistors came out. So we made some circuits using Raytheon CK722 and CK727. And a couple of germanium diodes, 1N34s. So that was a lot of fun back then, learning about that stuff. But with the tubes, they were easier to set up for the various classes, with the bias. So I'm going to go with C. Charlie for the my answer to the trivia question. So with that, back to the net, W8WKY, this is WO3X.
All right, very good there, John. Well, we got you down for C, Charlie, for the trivia question, and good to hear a little bit about some of your previous experiences, so very cool. Anyways, thanks for checking in, and you have a good evening. Next up on the list is Jerry, KC8HDP. Good evening, Jerry. How are you doing? How are things in Shreve, and what's your answer to tonight's trivia question?
Well, good evening, Javan, and good evening to everyone on the net. Great to hear everyone. Thanks for doing the net this evening, Javan. Good to hear you at Net Control. It's great to see you at the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Ham Fest. So, hadn't seen you in quite a while. Things are pretty quiet in Shreve as usual, and not a whole lot going on. The Shreve Swamp is up. It's full of water, but lots of wildlife, and that's a good thing. Let's see, the trivia question. Boy, it's been a long time since I took the extra test. I guess I'll just go with Bravo, because I don't remember what the answer is anyway. Well, anyway, I wish everyone a great rest of the week. Hope to see everyone at the meeting next week. and say 73 to all. Back to the net, W8WKY, this is KC8HDP 73.
All right, very good there, Jerry. Well, thanks for that. We got you down for B Bravo, and even if it's been a while since you've taken the test, I know you've helped out quite a few with getting their license or upgrading. I know you and Eric Mass, WADLM, both actually administered the test for all three of my license exams. So definitely thanks for that and helping me first get my license and then upgrade all the way. So anyways, we got you down for B here. Thanks for being in here, and we'll talk with you later, Jerry. All right, next up on the list here is someone who we haven't, at least I haven't heard in quite a while, Gary, AA8CS. Good evening, Gary. How are you?
Good evening, Javan, and everyone else on the net. You know what? It is good to hear you as well. I often think about, on Saturday morning, I often think about joining you on the barometer net. Unfortunately, when I start thinking about that, it's about 10 o'clock. And as you know, mornings and I just aren't normally on the same wavelength, but at any rate, I'm just happy that I can get up Thursday and Friday occasionally. As far as the trivia question, Javan, I'm going to go with C. I'm thinking that's probably where we're at with this, I think, but, who knows. What else? Oh, you asked me how I was. I am very good. I just got back from Texas. I went down there to see my daughters. Got to see both of them. I delivered a table and some other things to Texas and came back with a few things as well. So it was a worthy drive. The whole drive, normally we fly. It's just, the drive is, it's not a bad drive. It's just a long drive. We break it up into 2 days, and I try to get the majority of the drive done the first day so that I can kind of R&R the second day. But anyway, that's the way it goes. It's about 20 hours from Akron to Austin, so that's what I've been doing. At any rate, it is good to be back. As Dorothy Gale once said, there's no place like home. And with that, let me turn it back to you, Javan. Great job tonight. You just have a fabulous command on the net, and it is to be emulated. W8WKY, this is AA8CS. 73 all, have a fabulous evening.
All right, Gary, well, we got you down for C, Charlie, for the trivia question answer this evening. And again, it's great hearing you here on the net and back on the barometer nets in the morning. Nick, KD8SLG, did a great job filling in for you, but definitely great to have you back in here and doing those nets again. So anyways, with regards to the 20-hour drive, that's quite a long drive for sure, and I would appreciate fly at least most of the times, but I guess if you got equipment to carry down, then that makes sense. Anyways, again, glad to have you back, and hope to hear more of you on the air in the near future. All right, next up on the list, Brian was in and out, KFAG, so that actually brings us to the bottom, which is, again, a little bit early this evening here in the net, so I'm going to make a second round of check-ins for the W8WKY Sarah Tuesday night net. So if anybody else is wishing to check in this evening, we're going to make a second round, and we'll take check-ins right now.
And at LTR. TKI. No.
Okay, we just got two people in there that round. We got N8LTR Bill And I think the last check-in was at KE8TKI. Is that correct? Okay, didn't hear anything that round. All right, let's open it up to anybody else. I don't know about that last check-in, so all I got so far is N8LTR. And the last check-in, I'm not sure if we got that correct. Anybody else, please call.
KE8TKI, Donovan and Talmadge, in and out.
All right, very good. We got W8ELM Mobile, WB8CXO, and then Donovan, KE8TKI. We got you in and out. Thanks for being here. Anybody else for this call? This will be the second round of check-ins for the Tuesday night nets. Please call W8WKY.
Alpha KC8, Foxley Victor, KC8FQB.
W8WKY, repeater PL1 14.8.
All right, very good. That round we got Mark, KC8FQV. All right, with that, let's go back up to the top of the short list here. Actually, let's first get over to the mobile check-in. Eric, W8DLM, who we just talked about, again, got me, I believe, all three of my license exams sat with me for each one of those. So let's hear from Eric this afternoon or evening. W8DLM, take it away. How are you doing?
Well, good evening, Javan, and everybody on the net. I just got back in the car, had a jam session at the Orville Y, so I was playing mandolin over there, and we just packed everything up, and I'm headed home. And you are correct. In fact, I just had that picture out. I forget why, but I put it back into the file today. I've got a picture of you in the middle with Jerry on one side and me on the other, and we did give you all three exams. So I'm going to hang on to that now that you're semi-famous, and pretty soon we'll be really famous. So I can say I knew you way back when. So I'm not going to hold things here. I just thought I'll check in while I got the chance here, and I'm going to turn it back to net now. So thanks for running it, Javan. W8WKY from W8ELM.
All right, Eric. Well, I don't know about the famous thing, but it's definitely been great to know you over the past couple of years, and definitely, again, thanks for what you did there with the tests. All right, well, let's go back up to the top of the list and talk to Bill next, N8LTR. Good evening, Bill. Bill, how are you doing? What's going on with some of your tower projects, and do you have an answer, or did you hear the trivia question this evening?
Yeah, good evening, Javan and the group. Yeah, I heard the question. I'll go with C, type C, class C, nonlinear. And right now I am working on K8 AMX's antenna almost exclusively. 9-band MFJ, and the more bands you got on one antenna, the worse they are to tune. So this requires skill, dexterity, a whole lot of luck, maybe a good tuned-up Ouija board, and anything else you can think of to tune that antenna. So we'll be pulling it down tomorrow and put some magical pixie dust on it, and then put it back up, take another set of readings, and the process will repeat as long as we need to till it's correct.
So anyway, turn it back to you, sir. Good group tonight. W8UA and LTR.
All right, very good, Bill. That's great to hear that you got Dick's antenna setting up there and trying to get that thing tuned up. I bet that's a whole lot of fun to work on. So, hey, good luck with that. And I can't wait till he gets that up with the new amplifier. Dick's planning on getting a whole new station makeover for those who haven't heard. He and I have been planning CWQSO for coming up now on just about 3 years. It was 2020 whenever we decided that we were going to make a CWQSO on the air, and it's we waited this long to finally do it. So hopefully before too long we'll be able to make that CW contact, and he should have his new whole setup for then, so that we can easily make it with full. I think he's got a 500 watt amp and the new antenna, so should be good. Anyways, Bill, we got you down for C. Charlie for the trivia question. Thanks for that, and you have a great evening. Next on the list here is WB8CXO. Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday Night Net. How are you doing? All right, very good, Mike. And I can't recall if you mentioned this or not, but if they are interested, how do they reach out to you to get involved with that bus trip? All right, very good, Mike. Well, thanks for that. Appreciate the details there, and also thanks for checking into the net this evening. Great to hear from you, and hopefully we'll maybe see you at Dayton this year. All right, next up on the list is Mark, KC8FQV. Good evening, Mark. How are you doing? And what's going on? And let's see, where are you at? I can't recall what area you're at. Somewhere up north. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm North Mark, up in Aurora, KCFQV. Well, all I've been doing today is driving. It seems that way. And not driving the tractor, neither. Driving and going and get tools. And one batch wasn't right, so they went back and got the right ones, I think, now. I haven't tried them on yet. Well, I'm not going to try them on. The bolt's going to try them on the nut. There, it's going to try it on. Socket's going to try to mount the nut. I hope the socket will mount the nut. If it does, then the breaker bar can take the nut off. Well, that was happening here. I didn't hear the trivia, but I'll just have to say C. They always say, if you don't know, just say C. And that's what we'll do. And other than that, we'll send it back to net. KCFQV.
All right, very good, Mark. Well, great to hear you this evening. I guess you've been all over. So, anyways, great to have you here on the net this evening, and we got you down for C, Charlie, for the trivia question answer. All right. Well, with that, we got the final check in there from the second round, and I think that's gonna, I guess, be it for this evening's net. I'm gonna get through the trivia question answer here. I'm gonna read back what that is and who all got it right, if any. No, we got everybody. So we'll read that back, and then after that we can pick up any other stragglers out there on the net. But I'm gonna break for time, and then we'll pick it back up with the answer. All right, again, this is WAWKY with Sarah Tuesday Net with the answer to tonight's trivia question. And the correct answer was C, Charlie. Again, if the answer, or the question rather, to the trivia question this evening was, which class of amplifier is least capable of linear amplification? And again, the answer is C, Charlie. The individuals who guessed it correctly or knew it were Neil, WD8LLA, Nick, KD8SLG, John, WO3X, or John, as some like to say, Gary, AA8CS, Bill, N8LTR, and Mark, KC8FQV. So again, the answer is C, Charlie, for the class of amplifier that's least capable of linear amplification. And I know, I don't know a whole lot, but I know some of those can be at least more efficient than some of the other amplifier designs and can be used for kind of a continuous transmission like maybe CW or some of the FSK digital modes. So, hey, good. Hopefully all of you learned something from the trivia question at least, and I'm glad a number of you got that right this evening on the net. So, anyways, with that, I guess we'll open it back up to one last call for check-in, see if anybody else has any final comments this evening. And with that, again, any other final comments, check-ins? There's one last call. Please call W8WKY.
Kilo Delta 2, Hotel Charlie Echo, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo.
This is AB8 Alpha Bravo, Oscar Mobile in North Canton.
Here is KB8LNK.
November 8, Foxtrot, Quebec, Papa.
All right, that round we got KE8QWE, AB8MO Mobile, KB8LNK, and N8FQP. All right, let's first head over to the mobile check-in, AB8MO. Good evening, Andy. How are you?
All right, I thought I heard Chris in there, KD2HCE. Before me. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, or I didn't hear Mike, but hello to Mike if he's there. Wow, it's nice to be able to actually hit the repeater. But just got done with the men's group here at a local church here, Christian men's group, and we just got out. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm going to run into Sheets here and get something to eat. But I wanted to check in. Thanks for taking a last straggler around. I thought I was going to miss the net, so it's great to hear you, Javan. I'm sure you did a wonderful job. It sounds like you did a good job. You haven't tipped too many people off yet. So I'll keep it brief. Everybody have a great evening from North Canton. This is AB8MO. Back to you there, Javan.
All right, Andy. Well, I gotta say, you pointed out, you were the first to point out mistakes so far. So, hey, we got it that time, and we did get Chris in the log. I marked him as in and out, and forgot to call that out when I gave back the call sign. So, yep, we got KD2HCE in and out. All right, Andy. Well, again, great to hear you this evening. Glad you were able to check in mobile. Sounding great here into the repeater. And in Doylestown, I'm assuming you're coming straight into 3.9, so doing good. Anyways, you have a great evening, and we'll talk with you later. All right, next up on the list is Mike, KE8QWE. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo. Yes, I just wanted to catch the end of the net. I was doing the Cincinnati Liars net. So I'm going to get on my soapbox here and maybe have a public statement. Last week we were on 3844, and we got the net going within 10 minutes. We had some people that talked right over top of us, which, you know, they never even checked to see if the frequency was clear or not. So it's like, okay, fine. Well, tonight we started up the net, and we were at 3839. And within about 10 or 15 minutes of the net, some people were talking. I will not call them hams. Some people were talking, and now there were maybe 1 or 2 KC from us, and it just splattered over, and they were tuning on top of us. The next thing you know, they started cussing us out. I mean, using vulgar language that, no, you just cannot do it, no matter what. So I'm thinking, man. So we finally just said, we are done. So, you know, it's like anything else. Nobody owns a frequency, and we all have to learn to work together. I know that anyone that's on this net would not be doing that kind of stuff, but I know there is folks that are. But other than that positive note, I've just been working around the house today, mowed, trimmed, went and walked some today, and went to Costco. So it was a great day. Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo, back to net control. See you, folks.
All right, very good there, Mike. Well, you know everybody has the excuse. Well, I've been on this frequency for 40 years, and I know it's a pain to do a net. And sorry that, man, no one was really doing the right thing there on the air. So, hey, hopefully you're able to sometime move the net to kind of a more clear place. I know most of the 80-meter sideband or the 75-meter band is packed with all the rag juice. So, hey, hopefully you're able to get some of those issues resolved. Anyways, Mike, thanks for checking in. You have a good evening, and we'll talk with you later. All right, next on the list is Ron, KB8LNK. Good evening, Ron. How are you doing?
Good evening, Javan and everybody on the net. Don't really have much to add here, but I thought I'd check in and say hello. Been listening to most of the net, and yeah, I wouldn't have had a clue on that amplifier thing either. So it's a good thing you answered it before I got in here. I don't have to think too hard. But yeah, with that, we'll just let you have it back here. Good evening to everybody, and I'll catch up with you some other time. KB8LNK, back to the net.
All right, very good there, Ron. Well, thanks for being out there, at least listening this morning, earlier in the net. I guess it's still evening, and then joining us here. Thanks for that. Always great to hear from you, and I hope you have a great evening. All right, next on the list, last but not least, is Ted, N8FQP. Good evening, Ted. How are you doing?
N8FQP, yeah. Javan, I just was in here in the radio room, and I happened to turn the radio on and heard your voice, and I hadn't talked to you for quite some time, so I thought I'd just check in and give you a number and say hello and wish you well. So don't really have anything. I just want to say hi to everyone on the net, and with that, I will leave you all. 7-3, talk to you later.
All right, very good there, Ted. Well, thanks for stopping by this evening. Great to hear from you, and I hope you have a great evening. All right, well, with that, again, we reached the bottom of the list there of the final call for check-ins, so I think that's going to be a wrap for this evening's net. want to thank everybody for participating in tonight's net. Of course, be sure to check out some of the other nets here. We got the barometer net in the mornings at the ungodly hour of 7 a.m. And I think Fred will be doing tomorrow morning's barometer net. So be sure to check in with him then. And of course, got the beacon net in the evenings, and of course a bunch of other area nets. Be sure to check out our website, wawky.org, where we try to keep a up-to-date list of all the area on-air activities and club events and all that good stuff. So anyways, we're going to close down this net at 9 o'clock p.m. with 40 check-ins, including myself, 2 away from the magic number that we aim for on the barometer net. But definitely good turnout this evening. Thanks everybody for joining us. And now this repeater is returned to normal amateur use. 730 WAWKY is clear.
In and out, I'd appreciate it.
KSFQ. Sound like someone, Javan, might have been trying to check in right when you were calling out KSFQE. I don't know if anyone else heard that.
Yeah, it was WW8TM. I was just trying to do a quick in and out before they close the net. I'm at work, and I just crawled back in the car and heard it.
All right, very good.
Javan was running WUA, KSFQE.
Got you in and out again. You have a great evening. WW8TM. All right, 730 WAUA with WAWKY. We're clear.
WD8PUV for a sound check. Clear.
Whoever said a sound check, yeah, you were coming through good. KSFQE.
Yeah, WD8PUV is here. Yeah, we just we're on the computer on Echolink and just trying out this new microphone. Just wonder if it's over modulated, if it sounds okay. Go ahead.
You do know there's also echo tests on Echo that you can use. KSFQ.
Yeah, I use that, but sometimes it's better to get somebody on the air to see how well it sounds over.
All right, I just want to let you know that. Okay, as long as you know that. Always, a good point to start, with the echo test, and then get someone's opinion is to see,
whether or not we got you yet.
Because you could think, oh, yeah, that's great, and you get something out, and they say, oh, it needs a little bit of this or that. But, hey, okay, Mark here, KSFQV.
But, especially Joe there, KE8.
Oh, okay, yeah, thanks for the check there. WD8PAV is
some repairs.
All right, KSF, go I design too, KSFQV.
The other, and got new belts in, and got it up in the air, and I wanted to sharpen the blades, so I did. I sharpened them pretty good, but so they're good and sharp. I wanted to go out and get that one field out there
by the baseball, the diamond field. So, well, actually, my vice president called me up and said, if I bring the mower out, he'd hit it. I said, well, I got it kind of tore apart. Let me throw the blades on it. I've sharpened them. I just haven't put them back on yet. And let me put the blades.
Home without wearing a coat. So enjoy the. I'll say 7-3 and I'll be listening.
Okay, Brian. Hope you enjoyed going down there today and helping out with the VE stuff as well. And yeah, it was a nice day today. Not have to keep warm, so to speak. Right around the windows down too. Okay, let me go back here.
WHWKY.
Weather net right now in the background. NAJKO. Joe, good evening to you and Denise. Go ahead.
W8UA, KD2HCE.
It was always fun to be with him, and we're always cheering on Leon. So the kids.
KD8 EPC when you're done, KD2HCE.
All right, well, I didn't hear Nick. KD2HCE, go ahead.
Are you on a radio right now, or are you on some kind of internet?
I'm coming in through my CDM 750. I turned up the mic gain a little bit. I was trying to see if it made any difference.
Well, it sounds a lot better. It's audible, and it's got I would say it's 70% modulation.
Should I turn it up a little more, or do you think it's good where it's at?
That's about as little. I need an audio check. I'm using the Sony mic right now, and I just need to give an audio quality check, like a response, bass to treble, and how natural. You've heard my voice without a microphone, and as Nick would say, he doesn't like it no matter how he hears it, but just as an audio, is this true to my voice on the Sony?
I would say it's just a little bit, I would cut the mic gain back like 5%, just because it seems to be a little clippy around the edges, but otherwise I think it sounds just fine.
Okay, now I'm on a different microphone, and let me key it up this way. I can key it up there, and I'm on a different microphone now, and how's the tone quality compared to this microphone compared to the Sony microphone? This is a Yaesu microphone. This is the MD100, but it's on a boom and not on its base. It's just on a boom, and I have to key up with the microphone itself with a push-on, push-off.
You know, I think I like the sound of the other one better. I'd say the difference is negligible, but I personally like the sound of the other one better.
Okay, so this is the Yaesu. Give me a second to switch cords. And this is back to the Sony. This is what has always been on this radio.
Yeah, the Yaesu's it's slightly louder than the Sony, I think, but I think I like the audio quality of the Sony better, personally.
Well, there's a $400 difference in the microphone. Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Back to this one, you think it's all right, or should I get in there and crank it up one more notch?
Oh, now that I can key up with the push-to-talk button on the other microphone, do you have options where it's easy enough to switch it, where I can hear the difference close to whatever?
Negative. I gotta shut off the radio, disconnect the mic, hook up the computer and the software, and program it to a higher decibel. I think right now it's at 33 dBm. There's a couple more settings above that still.
Minus 33?
Probably. I don't know exactly. Like I said, it was seemed to be the way to turn up the audio, so it definitely made an improvement over last time. Last time I was told I was really quiet.
Well, what was the setting you went from to the minus 33?
I want to say it was minus 20-something.
No, then it would be a positive number. You went from 20 to 33. Okay. So apparently those microphones aren't sensitive, and if you went up 13 dB to go from where you were to where you... When I heard you last where you were quiet and you added 13 dB of gain, you only need about 5 more. So if you're at 33, don't go above 40.
It's incremental, and I think the next increment is 45.
Well, that's going to be really loud. If you went from 20 to 33 and it made that much of a difference, that next step's going to be too much. Try it. I'll be here.
All right, I was just going to say, let me find my cord here. Give me 5 minutes, and I'll get back to you. KD80PC.
You'll find your cord.
Net tonight, no problem. Had a good signal, good report. Kind of funny, no real propagation, but the propagation was down a bit, but got through no problem. But there's not a lot of noise. And let's see, nothing else is going on, I don't think. Still back on to DMR, so the hot spot has bit the dust, and I haven't got around to fixing it yet. Nothing else to report on. So with that, back to net. This is N8MP.
Right, Ted. I don't know what's going on with the bands there. I got an alert that there was a flare. I think it was about 2 o'clock this morning. Get them out. And that was supposed to affect HS stuff on the lit side of the planet, which, well, we were on the dark side. So.
Hi, I'm not used to hearing the repeater this good.
The bands will pick up here in a couple of days. Something really active.
Oh, you missed me. I switched microphones.
Yeah, I don't know. I really can't tell the difference. Hi, Chris. Sound A-OK on whatever you're using now.
Give me a second. I'm on the microphone that everyone always hears me, and now I have to unscrew because I need your ear because you're on a mobile, and you can give me an honest ear on it, so you can hear me via the repeater on RF. So while Dustin's playing with his radio, I'm gonna switch microphones. Give me a second. Okay, same distance. This is the Yaesu mic on the same settings, and nothing else changed. The microphones are parallel to each other on separate booms, but the arms are right next to each other. So this is the Yaesu mic on the 847, and previously it was the Sony mic on the 847. Which one do you prefer on that speaker?
Well, your circa mic seems to have a little more punch. It's definitely a little bit easier on the ears in the mobile setup, that's for sure. But both of them sound good. The second one sounds like it's a little bit more full. Definitely a little louder, which helps me out because, of course, I'm mobile. And I think I found my way back to 77.
W8WKY.
All right, well, I'm back to the Sony, and I'm talking a little closer to it. How's that?
Okay. Audio-wise, it's about the same. I'd probably like the Sony a little bit better, but the Yaesu's a little bit louder. So there you go for a amateur opinion.
Okay, and we got Gigi on the mic. Go ahead, say hi, Say hi, Meow. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to say hi. She just wants to purr. I don't know if you can hear her purring, but she's got a loud purr for a little tiny cat. That's the gray and white one. Yeah, one of these days you got to stop by and meet the Clouder.
Okay. Yeah. You're going to use a Sony mic. Speak up, Chris, because you got a little quiet there. But I think you were trying to get the cat to say hello. I don't have to introduce my cat. You know, she just gets in there and just makes herself known. So I don't have to try to coax her into saying anything on the air. She just does it. So anyway. About an hour drive home from here, so well, I know I'm going to run out of the repeater here, but I think I'll be in range for quite some time here. I guess I'll see how far it goes north. Probably just going to go up Route 8. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go up Route 8 to 271 or go 76 to 44. We'll see how I feel when I get there. This is AB8MO. You back yet, Dustin?
AB8OU.
Go ahead, AB8OU, KD2HC for ID. Trying to get a cat off my shoulder now.
Lots of luck. Had a cat that liked to sleep on the back of my chair while I was operating. But anyway, AB8OU, I'll just comment on your mic. The Yaesu has much better communication punch. The Sony sounds sort of muddy and muted. Definitely the Yaesu is a much better punch for getting through. AB8OU.
Appreciate that. I have the, it's an MD100, and I have it off of the base. I have two mobile cords right now, RJ45 coupled together, so it's an 8-pin round to 8-pin round coiled cord, and that's on the the FTDX1200, and I had the Sony all along on the 847. You gonna say meow now? Come on, get up. No, she's not ready yet. So yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, remove a cat from your shoulder. She told me, I guess. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that the MD100 is going to stay on the 1200, and we'll keep the Sony on the 847 because it's a little more tolerant of it.
AB8OU, just say you have much better punch, much more you'll get through in noisier conditions. With the Yaesu, the Sony is maybe better fidelity, but it has no punch. That it's not, I assume it's not a communications mic, it's a general purpose, so the frequency response. Communication mics have a peak, tend to attenuate the lower audio frequencies and emphasize the higher in the about 300 to 3 kilohertz range, which is what you need for communications. Anyway, I'll leave you go and get back to what you're doing, AB8OU.
I appreciate that. AB8MO, you still in the repeater?
Yeah, well, hello to ABAOU, who is leaving again. Yeah, that's kind of what I came up with from an intelligibility standpoint, communication standpoint. The Yaesu's better. The Sony, I guess, if you want it not as flavored, but definitely the extra flavoring that the Yaesu mic gives you helps others out that are in a noisy environment like me. So anyway, if you're going to use the Sony mic, just speak up, Chris, or you're going to make me have to turn my volume up. And then when Mr. Whiskey identifies the repeater, it's going to blow me out of my chair. So anyhow, so just motoring along here. I'm somewhere on 77. I don't know if I've hit Summit County yet or not. I think I'm pretty close to Summit County, if I haven't crossed already. This guy is going to merge right in. No, he's not going to try to squeeze in. He's actually going to, okay, good. I'm not going to have a collision here like I thought I was going to have. Arlington Road. So I definitely know I'm in Summit County. No, this is AB8MO.
Jurassic pause. Yeah, I'm talking right into the microphone now, so it's a little bit less sensitive. The Yaesu mic is a little more sensitive, and I found out that on the 1200, the mic gain has to be set at 25 with the processor on and the EQ on, and they both sound good there. But again, people like the Yaesu microphone on that radio better also. But I have to choose what microphone's going to be on what radio. And I got the MFJ microphone switch just today. It came in the mail. It was funny. Gigaparts had it. And I went on Gigaparts, and they wanted $200 and something for it. I went on eBay, on Gigaparts, on eBay, and it was $66 cheaper. So guess what? I got it on eBay, and I went to Giant Eagle and got a gift card, so I got some fuel perks for it, too. So, no-brainer. But apparently they didn't update their listing on eBay, and I saved $67, or actually $70-something with tax. So that was a good deal. So that's going to be a hookup, but I have to assemble my new office chair because this one was a little bit loose, and I tightened it up, and I sat back on it, and it was still a little bit loose after I tightened it up. So went underneath there, and I looked, and yeah, it's cracked. I got to get it welded, so this will be the backup chair after I weld the bottom piece. Get a couple of tacks on it, will be good. And it'll be the backup chair. So the new one's here. I would have had to wait another week to get it from wherever. So we're all good. Dustin, you back yet? KD8EPC, KD2HCE.
I think he's holding out on us, to be honest. But anyway, okay there, Chris. Yeah, I probably would have done the same thing. Get the gas credits too. I do that too. So you're not the only one. So anyway, in the midst of construction here on 77 here, I don't know. I imagine they're widening the road here. I don't know. I know this is a pretty busy stretch here north of Arlington Road. No shoulders and kind of narrow lanes here, so trying to be careful. So what's to keep you from just getting two Yaesu microphones so you can run the same microphone on both radios? Why do you have to pick one over the other?
$460.
$160. This is what's the Yaesu mic? Is it a hand mic? Is it a desk mic or a boom mic, or what is it?
No. 400. Four Quattro. $460 difference.
Okay. Why is the car yelling at me? I don't know. Okay, I still don't know what it is, though. What is it, gold-plated hand microphone or a boom mic? What is it?
It's a Mic Delta 100 desk mic. that it has a desk feature to it, and on the bottom of the back it has a 8-pin round and an RJ45 and a coiled cord that has an RJ45 and an 8-pin round on the other end. So whichever radio you have, you plug the other's end into the base because it has both. So the cord does both. The cord goes both ways, for lack of a better descriptor, humor intended. And then it has a base, and there's a locking and a push-to-talk on it, and then there's a ring on it that does up and down, which is annoying because you can't bypass it and lock it, because anytime you bump it, you change frequencies or go through your memory locations. And then it has a removable mic itself on a little clip that has an 8-pin round on the back of it. So I removed it from the base, put it on a boom, and put 2 hand mic cords, which have the RJ45s, with a Cat 5 coupler in between them. So I have an 8-pin round on both ends, one for the back of this mic and one for the radio. So we go from there, and it's still on a boom, just like the Sony's on a boom. Their booms are right next to each other, and they're the same distance apart, and they're just hanging out. And there's a picture on QRZ, you can see them.
Okay, gotcha. I'll tell you what, Chris, I'm going to get out of here because I'm doing a lot of random lane changes and stuff, and I'm in the middle of construction, and it's heavy traffic. So when I get out of it, I'll come back on here, but I don't want to get into a crash because I'm zigzagging around here. And I'm not familiar with this construction zone. So anyway, Chris, we'll pick up the microphone thing later. I've worked around that as well. KD2HCE, this is AB8M. I'll catch you in a little bit.
AB8MO, you be careful. By the way, Bobby Orr checked into my net tonight. No, it's not that Bobby Orr. It's a Robert Orr, but he's a physicist at the University of Toronto. Everyone had a field day with his name. So with that, drive safe. Dustin, you back yet? Guess not. KD2HCE for ID monitoring.
KD2HCE, KD8SLG. Hey, Chris, dude, I heard your voice doppelganger on the radio this afternoon, or this morning actually it was. I was having a QSO with NT8D, Dave, and we were talking about music, and this guy just jumped in and threw out like 5 band names, and then jumped off. And I swear to God, I answered him and said, KD2HC, I'll be with you in a minute. And it wasn't you. This guy, KC8WVH, another Dave, by the way. And I guess I met him Friday night at the Maslin Club meeting. This guy sounds exactly like you. He's from Syracuse, so he's got a little bit of that sort of thing, and he spends a lot of time in New York and New Jersey. And his accent, his voice, everything. I swear to God, dude, you're total voice doppelganger. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Just for that, I'll have to go in full Ohio mode.
KC3QSC.
I was keying up there, but I heard a QFC. I guess FedEx Mike wants to talk. Hi, FedEx Mike. Yeah, I'm not doing Ohio mode tonight, man. That's like NCO voice for me. KC3QFC. What's going on, Mike? How's your drive?
KD8SLG, KC3QFC. Well, we're in Schenectady right now. I just upset FedEx there because I can't take the second trailer. It's got a bunch of problems. Could you just pull it anyway? No. Fix your trailer and then I'll pull it.
But, yeah, they're not too happy with me. But, all in all, it's going well. And, a side note, had I been able to actually answer the trivia question, I would have gotten the answer right. Hi, yay me. Just on a mere guess. KC3, QFC.
Go, Chris.
I'm doing emails, so I'm waiting for Dustin to come back. KD2HC. I'll be listening for a few minutes.
Oh, I'm going to dog Dustin. If you're waiting for Dustin to come back, take a nap. KD88PC, I hope you're out there listening. You hound, you. KC3QFC. Oh, you couldn't get in there? There were a bunch of orderly check-ins tonight, man. Javan runs a tight net. You should have been able to get in there, Mike. And sorry about the trailer, man. But as I say in Spanish in situations like that, si quieres un amigo, compre un perro. And if you know habla, that means if you want a friend, buy a dog. Over to you, Mike.
I got third-party traffic.
Yeah, go ahead with third-party traffic. KC3, QFC.
Okay, FedEx Mike. This is for Nick. I have a GPS unit here, and it has my favorite word here. And if you listen closely, it doesn't sound like what it says, but maybe you can make it out. Oh, wait a minute. Here she comes. Wait a minute. Come on. She's stupid. Now she's not doing anything. There you go. Ready? Here she goes.
Nah.
There you go. Take one, okay?
I would guess back, but since we're playing games, spell Schenectady.
Oh, I can do that. I know how to do that. I just have to write it down when I do it. I can't do it in my mind. I don't have a mind.
It's Sierra Charlie, Hotel, Echo, November, Echo, Charlie, Tango, Alpha, Delta, Yankee. SCHENECPADY. That's Schenectady. KC3, QSC. So there's Mike showing off again. ABNMO back.
All right, I guess I'll pick it up here. Thank you for that, Mike. Schenectady, by the way, is a fascinating film if you ever get the opportunity. Put it that way. You have to have a certain taste for a certain director's kind of movies. But Schenectady always gives me a smile. And Chris, when you come back on there, how close was I to what the GPS gal was saying? Because to me, I think she said back, but I could be wrong. And Andy, EB8MO, my man, dude, you're all the way down in North Canton. You should have thrown out some. Should have let me know, man. Wade's down here. I'm down here. We could have met up and, I don't know, maybe eat before you went to your meeting instead of you driving home hungry. Let me throw it over to Andy here for a second. AB8MO, go ahead.
All righty, very good there. And I guess I'll toss it over to Chris there. All right, Nick, yeah, you're right. I wasn't thinking. I had forgotten that Wade was down here, but I didn't plan that too well. You're right. I didn't. I starved, and I ended up going to get a couple of subs at Sheets, and my so-called loyalty card, the sale kept getting canceled, so I had to go into the cashier, who seemed like such a bright-eyed, bushy woman. No. And do it all manually and go back and get my change. It was a super hassle. But I filled my belly and filled my car. I think it was $3.26 a gallon for gas or something, which is about 15 cents cheaper than it is back home. So I had about a third of a tank. I could have got back home, but save an extra $1.50. Why not? Well, I meant it. Since I had to drive all this way anyway. So I was just I don't know. I would have just spelled out Schenectady how it sounds. SCA, SKUNECK, TADY, Schenectady. There you go. How about that, Chris? KD2HCE, D8MO.
I gotta remember which PTT to hit right now because it's the foot switch and the Yaesu has the PTT on it, so the foot switch and the Yaesu. Now I have to use, because the foot switch isn't on the 847, I got to use the Delta, push the torque on it, and yeah, it's just a mess here. It's just confusing. And no, she says a certain word, and listen closely. She says,
"Nah."
Yeah, it's not what you think it is. It's a GPS, so she says this word, and usually when you're old enough, you take an afternoon one, and that's what we hear when she says that. But Schenectady is an SCH like in Schwartz, and then it's necked. It's an E, then it's necked, 80. It's just pretty easy to spell. That's how I remember to spell it. It's Schenectady. So that's pretty easy. And with that, she's being stupid. And here she is. She goes, "Nah." There you go. And back to whoever's next.
I think I'm next, KQFC. Am I right, Nick?
Roger, go, FedEx Mike, go.
Okay, Roger, Kilo Charlie 3, Quebec Foxtrot Charlie returning. Well, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. Nick, I did get into the net, but it was a little bit later, and I was in that Verizon dead spot. So I would hear somebody, and then I wouldn't hear the next three people. So I didn't bother trying to be a regular check-in for now. But I did hear the trivia, and I would have been right, just on a mere guess. So I was proud of myself. So, little feather in my hat, hi. But, yeah, I had a cheat sheet in front of me. I guess, if we're doing a spelling contest, you could try to spell Binghamton. If you guys really want to do a spelling cast, hi. It's over to you, Nick. We'll leave a pause just in case Dustin made it back. We'll call him out because he said he was going to talk after that. KD80PC, have you returned? If not, pick it up, Nick. KC3 QFC.
I don't mind. WV3K. I just wanted to give a note over to Nick and let him know that everything is a green light over on this end. Parameters are programmed and everything's looking sweet on both. So anyway, I sent you pictures and it's really looking good. Your noise floor is just absolutely remarkable. I got probably about close to 3 dB noise floor without any input and a 50 ohm load over the port, which incidentally we need to talk about on that tracker to make sure that you put a 50 ohm load across it, not to tear up the tracker output, but simply to keep it from spewing and causing any potential parasitic oscillations on your signal. But anyway, I thought I'd let you know everything's looking really good. I got it backed up and ready to get on back over to you. We'll talk to you later. This is WV3K, and I will be QRT. Have a good night, gentlemen.
WV3K, KDSLG. Excuse me, guys. Hello. Thanks, Phil. It's good seeing you tonight, too, there, buddy. And the other packages were delivered, and we picked out 2 spots for at least 5 out of those 7 pieces. So there you go. That didn't take long. And man of action that Ron is, I assure you it won't be long before they're being put to use. So there you go. Good to hear you, Phil. Thanks for jumping in. That's all I got on this round. We'll leave another big opening here and see if Dustin's back. KD8EPC, this is KD8SLG calling you out on the W8WKY. If not, I think Andy's still in here. AB8MO. If no Dustin, Andy.
W8WKY repeater PL1 14.8.
Enough pause. I heard Dustin right before I came in, on a minute back when I was in North Canton. I heard Dustin, and he hasn't been back, so I guess I just smell really bad. So anyway, Chris, when I mentioned, that's why I always hand it to somebody. I never say, I'll throw it over to whoever is up next, because either A, is going to have a massive voice, nobody's going to talk. And nobody talks because, well, we didn't want to step on each other. So this might never work. So even if I'm tossing it to the wrong person, I try to toss the somebody who's moving. And let's keep moving, rolling. I am just about to cross the dirt pipe. So here, guys. So I may be good for one more round, and
Was that a coincidental fade out?
I was handing it, I'm getting close to the repeater here, so I'll tell you what. Which is going to deliver.
Andy, just stop, please.
7, and I'll be listening. 82HCE, ABMO. Catch y'all later.
Okay, Andy, we know you can hear the repeater, but you're just not quite making it, and I heard you throw it to me, but the first time, it was a coincidental fade out. You're like, I'll pass it up, and you just dropped out. It was kind of funny. Okay, I got one more email to do, and yes, she says MAP, Mike Alpha Papa, because she's a GPS unit, but it always says NAP when we say it, Nancy Alpha Papa. So she always tells us to take a nap. So we're driving, so we just pull over. Go ahead, FedEx Mike.
Kilo, Charlie Charlie 3, Quebec Foxtrot Charlie, returning. I had to leave a little pause there, and then, of course, my node decides to identify what it... Never mind. I'll stop. Anyways, yeah, Andy, 73, AB8MO. And thank you again there for the boost there. I know you probably still hear us if you still have the radio on. Thanks again from me, rather than Nick forwarding it. Yeah, I'm good for a nap. If somebody wants to take over the steering wheel, I'll just crawl in the bunk and take a nap. I mean, I've got 106 miles before I get on 81 south, so if you could fingers come over, drive for me, that'd be beneficial. Let's see. There was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was. Boy, I love that. I love that feature. Nick, go ahead and pick it up. Oh, boy. KD8SLG. I had it right. Wow. Brain fart. KC3, QFC.
KC3QFC, KD8SLG. All right, guys, I'm done. I have a few things to take care of to wrap up my day here, and I can't do it sitting here in the chair yakking on a microphone. So I've got to head over to do that. I need some sleep tonight. Wednesdays are a big radio day for me, so I need my sleep. And I got some plans on Thursday that I need to store up a little sleep for as well. So I'm going to bail out of here on you guys for now. KC3QFC, KD2HCE, AB8MO, if you can still hear us, don't try to come back, please. And if Dustin's out there, I will talk to you tomorrow before we do the boredom breaker net. KD8SLG, I'm clear. Over to you, Chris.
Good night, Nick. We'll be monitoring. We'll be waiting for Dustin. He had to take apart the radio, reprogram it, and see what's going on. So he went from 20 to 33. Now he's going to go from 33 to 45. So he went up 13. Now he's up another 12. And the distance, the difference he got in gain was noticeable. So if he adds that again, it's going to be too much. So waiting to hear it. KD2HCE for ID, standing by.
KC3QFC returning. 73's Nick. I'm sure we'll hear you at 1 a.m. Or at least we'll hear somebody. Tear apart the radio and adjust the crystals and everything else, huh? KD80PC, you back yet? Did you get it all tuned up? I'm interested to hear from you. I only get a brief moment. KC3QFC.
KD8EPC is testing.
KD8EPC, KD8SLG.
KD8SLG, this is KD8EPC. Hey Nick, how does this radio sound to you? Is it good or is it too hot?
It's not hot at all. I would say it's a little bit quiet, but not enough to change anything. How's that sound? It sounds a little tinny to me. It's not very full and rich, but you know, you're definitely not over-modulating if that's what you're asking about.
Alright, yeah, I'm testing out this CDM 750 and I just turned up the mic gain a little more. I can turn it up more if you think it's still quiet. You got a couple minutes to test around with me here? I just don't want to turn it up way too high and have it sound terrible. So you got a couple minutes to help me test it out?
I wouldn't turn it up anymore. I would say right now you're on the edge of clipping.
W8WKY.
KD2HC. Well, if I keyed on somebody else, whoever else is there, say that again.
KD2HCE. I would leave it there. That sounds like all the radios that I worked on it, and through a repeater, it sounds exactly the volume that we would set it for. So your voice is good. You just might not have to talk as loud.
Alright, yeah, it's at 39.5 is where I set it at. It was at 36.5, so I just turned it up a little bit. So glad that's working. And I moved the microphone another inch or two away from my mouth, so y'all have to let me know if that made any difference. KD8EPC over to KD8SLG.
It's fine, Dustin. I wouldn't change it. Like I said, I think if you crank it up anymore, you're going to start over-modulating. And at this point, it's just what's the word I use? Oh yes, microphone discipline.
Dustin, I agree very much with Nick. Yeah, you don't want to saturate you are a little tinny. If you have any adjustments for equalizing, if that's what you're doing, if there's an additional controls, why I would bring that down a little bit. But yeah, it's just a little tinny. But other than that, it's very clear.
All right, thanks for the feedback there, gentlemen. Give me just a minute. Let me hook this back up and read it again and see if there's any audio settings to change the treble and the bass settings at all. So I'll be back here in a few. KD8EPC.
KD8EPC, KD2HCE. Speak across the mic at 1 inch. Don't speak into it. Speak across it. That's what we told all the cab drivers.
Well, let me try this one more time. I'm speaking across it. Is that any better?
What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm talking across my mic instead of into it right now as well. And I think that sounded more like Dustin than before.
All right, thanks for your feedback, gentlemen. I'm still going to hook this thing up and see what other audio settings I can play with a little bit. I'll be back in a minute. KD8EPC.
Yeah, we had fleets of taxis using that radio. And picture a taxi driver trying to get back to base, and they were eating the microphone. You couldn't understand them, especially when they were from the islands on top of it. So there was a mumble factor, and then they were eating the microphone. So we had to show them how to hold the microphone. Each one of the drivers had to be trained. They bought their own radios, but they had to be trained on how to hold the microphone. It was funny.
Phil, what did you think of his transmission after he changed his microphone position?
Seriously, I think that it was okay. There's always room for improvement, but like you said, he's got some other adjustments he wants to look into. And I've heard him a lot better before, so this is kind of an experimental thing for him. And I think he's doing the right thing, asking a couple of us to, give him some feedback and, a little improvement there on how to hold the mic, how close, usually 1 to 2 centimeters, and typically to graze across the side of the surface of the mic, which is just below the plastic. It's not difficult to hit. But other than that, it's intelligible. It's just not robust like it used to be. And so there, where you have higher frequencies, needs to be brought down and get the punch of the preamp and make the adjustments on the tone and the bass. There is some frequency adjustments on some that have like equalizers on it, and that would be to his advantage to follow through with those adjustments. So I'm going to leave it alone. I think you guys are doing well with him, and I'm going to get myself ready for get ready for bedtime. So, gentlemen, Chris and Nick, thank you for asking, Nick, and also Dustin. I think you're in the right direction. So continue on your positive journey and getting that thing together. Sounds like you got a good microphone system set up there. Just need to tweak it a little bit, and you'll be done. And you got some good people here to work with you. KD8 APC. This is Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo. Just choked on some chicken here. That WV3KO will be clear. Back to you.
All right, KD8 EPC returning. I made the only adjustment I can make, so you guys will have to let me know if this microphone discipline and a little bit of change helped out. So, Phil, don't choke your chicken there, hi. We'll say 73 to you. Have a great night, my friend, and it's always a pleasure to hear you. With that, KD8 EPC, back over to you guys. What do you think now?
KD8 APC, KD8 SLG. I'm spoiled, dude. I'm used to listening to you on D-Star Simplex for one thing. So, as I said, it's the nature of the beast, okay? It's not an ICOM microphone. It's not going to give a full, rich sound. I understand what you're saying. I understand that it's you, but it still sounds tinny and weak to me. Chris, what do you think? KD2HC.
Personally, I think he passed the red line, just by a little bit. Put it back where it was. I think that's going to be the best that's going to sound. Right here, it's just, like Nick said, you've gotten past the average tinniness. So with that microphone that you're going to be using, put it back to a 33 or whatever it was, or 38. You were at 33, so you went to 36 or 38. That's where you want to be. Where are you at now, 40?
It's up at 40.5 now, so stand by, I'll turn it back down. KD8 EPC.
And that was the original. Don't go above 40. That's where we never went above 40 on it, so that's where I remember. So 40 was the thing. You said 43 was the next, so that would be too high. So I'm remembering stuff. This is amazing. KD2AC Friday.
KD2HCE. So, Chris, have you ironed out all your microphone stuff? Yeah. Quick synopsis.
The 1200's going to stay with the MD100. I got the MFJ mic switch. I forget its model number, but it's hold on, page 40. Page 40. It's an MFJ. Let me get the magnifying glass out now. It's an MFJ 1263 microphone switch for 2 radios, 2 microphones. So I can put anything on anything when I want to, and then I hook up the foot switch to it. But I'm not going to do that. The foot switch is going to get whatever radio I'm keying up on. But the Sony mic is going to stay with the Delta mic in the breakout box, so it has a push to talk, and then the Yaesu mic has its own push to talk on it, but it's got to go with the foot switch. So it's got to go that way. So pretty much it's going to be the way it is. Everything's ironed out. HF, everyone says I sound beautiful now. I don't sound like me. They don't recognize me. It's pretty cool. So I don't know if you're going to ever hear me on HF, but the compliments, the radio was worth the price. How's that?
KDPC returning.
KD80PC, KDSLB, SLG. Oh, man. Yeah. Time to call it a night when I can't do my own call sign. Yeah, leave it there, Dustin.
Glue it.
D3 QND here. How's my microphone sound?
Hi, Jeannie. It sounds better than Dustin's.
I'm sitting on the original mic. I ain't changed nothing, and I ain't going to change nothing. You guys keep changing things. I've heard yous all sound a lot better than you have. Now, so there. Put those old mics back on where they belong, and just talk. You guys, what are you doing to yourselves? KC3 QND. Hello, Nick. Hello, Dustin. Hello, Chris. I'm just hanging around listening, watching TV. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, good to hear you out there, Miss Jeannie. Yeah, usually I leave my mics alone. This one, though, I'm trying to fine-tune it a little bit for the mobile. It is a commercial radio, though, so it's not going to have the audio quality of an ICOM or a Yaesu or anything like that. But, hey, as long as I'm able to be heard and it works decent enough, that'll be good enough with me. 27 watts in the mobile ought to get me to the 3.9 anywhere in the local area. So that's my story. Otherwise, I usually don't mess with microphones much. I'd rather just set it and leave it where it is. KDPC. Whoever's next, take it away.
Okay, just for a group. I switched mics again. Guess which one this one is. KD2HCE.
I like the other one better, Chris.
Okay, I flipped the switch on this one.
You're louder.
This is the infamous Yaesu hand mic with the buttons on the front. The ones that come with all the radios. Yeah. This is a hand mic. So I'm going back to the Sony. And Jeannie, you sound better than Dustin. We'll leave it at that. Good hearing you. KD2HCE, back to the group.
You sound better with that one. And I ain't kidding.
The MH84, I believe, is what you're talking about there, Chris. And, I've got it on 1, 2, 3, 4 radios in front of me right now. I know how to talk into it.
I'm on an HMN 4058 Alpha microphone, a Motorola stock hand microphone. This one was brand new old stock, so that's cool to have. Anyway, thanks for your input, gentlemen. I certainly do appreciate it, but I've got to go finish doing the dishes and mopping the kitchen floor, so thanks for the distraction. And Miss Jeannie, it's a pleasure to hear you out there. Betty said hello. We'll say 73 all the way around, and this is KD80PC. I'll be clear and listening out.
KC3QND, KDSLG. So, you expect me to drive an hour north for your POTA event there, Miss Jeannie?
Sure, why not? Drive an hour away, or better than that, to go to the DX store.
Okay, you send me home with a new radio, I'll be there in a heartbeat. Anyway, I won't be driving anyway. I'll get the vice presidential limo driver, KB8LNK, to drive me up there in the big red truck. Ron, if you're out there, I found us something to do on Saturday. KD8SLG.
W2JLS.
Holy cow, I was talking about you today, John. I haven't heard you on a radio in like 10 or 12 days. Where you been, man? I did 3 barometer nets without you checking in.
Well, you did 2 without me checking in. I didn't realize you did the other, those other 2. I tried checking in on the 1, and it was like beating my head against a wall. You were just wicked popular and couldn't squeeze in. And I didn't have a whole lot of time. It was in the morning on my commute. But it was one of those infamous moments where it sounded like you had maybe four people calling in at once. You thought it was a double, then it turned out it was a triple, but you didn't know it was a quadruple. Like that. And then generally speaking, I've just been swamped with outside of the radio world kind of life stuff, not bad, just really busy.
Roger, there was morning. I remember seeing you on the dashboard, but a couple of those days got a little bit, hairy. How's that? Good to hear you, John. HCE and QND. Sorry, I had to say hi to John there for a moment. Let me throw it back to Chris. KD2HCE, go ahead.
Yeah, we're back on the Sony. Yeah, it's an MH31. I have like 4 of them now. I got one for each of the 747s. I got one for the 847, and I got one for the 1200 now. So there's like 4 of them now. So, like I said, I borrowed 2 of their cords. Oh, I also have the cord for the MD100. But I borrowed 2 of the cords, and I backed them up to each other to make this jumper for taking the MD100 and putting it on a boom. But again, when I hook that up, I can switch either mic to either radio, but it's still going to be the foot switch is going to go with the amplifier, which is the way it should be. So I have it set up so that I have. You're gonna like this. Keep it simple. You switched it. It's an old VCR video switch, so it has 3 inputs and your VCR output, so you can put 3 different video and audios to the VCR. So the VCR goes to the amplifier, and it takes the foot switch and the key line. Okay, I put the foot switch in there, and the key line goes out to the amp. So that's the common. And then I have the 3 radios, which I'm only using 2 of, so 1 and 3. And 1 gets the key from the radio, and then the jumper from there to the PTT. So the foot switch goes backwards, and the PTT line goes the other way. So I just switched the RCA jumper, and that's which radio gets the amp and the foot switch, because they're in common. So I try to keep it crisp-proof over here. It's like use switches. It's just easier. And then, it keeps me from making 20-meter contacts on the 6-meter beam and stuff like that. So whoever's next, I think it's Jeannie. KC3QND, KD2HCE.
Oh my God, you guys are driving me crazy with your this switch and that switch. And you know what? You're not gonna know what switch to switch pretty soon. Hello, John. Are you a normal person to talk to tonight? These guys are driving me nuts. What have you been up to?
KC3QND, Miss Jeannie. All sorts of stuff. It's springtime, so the yard's a disaster, needing continual attention, and gardening. I've really had a hard time getting started, but have got it moving. Gosh, what else? Work has been insane, inventing new things to do with graphene and graphite nanoplatelets. Raising 3 adolescent boys. I have been researching some radio projects and bought some new tools and such. Actually messing with a small antenna project right now, and I bought a Dremel kit. I don't know, stuff like that. That's what's going on over here in Happy John land. I will chime in really quickly. Chris, that last over, that Sony sounded great. I can't say I paid much attention to Sony's microphones for amateur radio, but yeah, it sounded really good. There's my thoughts on that. Anyway, I don't know who's all out there. I'd heard Dustin, I think, clearing, if he's still listening. Hi, Dustin, and hello to Chris, and you too, Miss Jeannie. Thanks for having me in for a round or however many. W2JLS, back to the list.
I'm not sure, KDSLG returning here, but I wonder if FedEx Mike, are you still out there? I think we lost you for a while, but looks like you're reconnected. KC3QFC, you want a piece of this? Well, that was an awkward pause. I think I've cleared 3 times now. I really do need to get off of here. So, but John, I tried to get out and he pulled me back in. Good to talk to you there, John. We need to get a 3 or 4 hour Friday or Saturday night thing going sometime in the near future again. So there, KC3QND. I plan on making it up there to your NORS event one way or another. I've been doing Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association outreach every weekend. I've been going to some other club's event and wearing one of my Sarah shirts and my name tag and pressing palms and kissing babies. Oh man, yeah, this is the guy you send out to talk to people. Good God. Anyway, it's good talking to everybody tonight. I am going to clear this time, though. So, KD8SLG, I'm clear. I'll probably be listening for a bit. Let me throw it back to Jeannie, KC3QND.
Okay, Nick, being as you're going 73, we'll just sit here and talk about you. I bet you look real cute with your Sarah shirt and your name tag. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, I'm glad you're going to make it to the POTA party, but I'm taking my fishing pole, too, because when I get tired of doing POTA, I can go fishing. I like that lake. So, Mr. Wilson will probably go fishing with me, too. Pete's going to go fishing with me, too. And we're both going to talk on the radio, but Wilson, he tries to talk on the radio, but it doesn't come out too good. But that'll be fun. It's supposed to rain. Take an umbrella, I guess. I didn't order the rain. It just said on the news that it's a good possibility. So, Okay, 73.2. That was all I had to talk about. That's all I had to say about talking about Nick. John, it was awful nice talking to you tonight. And Chris, you have a good night, and everybody sleep tight. 73, guys.
Must be everyone cleared off there. I'll say goodnight then to Nick, KD8 SLG. Have a good one, buddy. Yeah, we'll catch up real soon. And then also KC3QND, Miss Jeannie. A pleasure, lady, even if it was for a one over. Good to hear you in there. Hope you're having a fun event there on Saturday. If I don't go traveling someplace, maybe I'll look that up. Sounds like fun. If you guys are doing a POTA, must be you're out at a park someplace. Anyway, I'll pass it back over to Chris if he's still there, but had a feeling maybe he got sidetracked.
KD8EPC. Go ahead, Dustin. KD2HC. I'll pick it up after you. I got a cat.
All right. Well, I just heard my buddy John out there, and I wanted to come back in and say hello to him real quick. How are you, John?
Hey, Dustin. Yeah, I heard you in there trying to clear as I was walking into the radio room. Glad to hear you. Yeah, things are good. Just a little busy, but generally, I don't know. Life's treating me well. Just wish I had more time for everything, But that's not a bad thing. It's spring, right? And it's suddenly pretty, very pretty out. What are you up to? Are you done on the radio for the night, or are you coming back for some chat?
I'm just finishing up doing the dishes. I'm going to mop the kitchen and call it a night. But I heard you out there, so I wanted to come back and say hello for a minute. Not much going on here. Getting ready for Dayton next weekend. Me and Andy are going to take a ride down there and spend a night, so that'll be fun. Otherwise, not much else going on here. Like I said, messing around with this Motorola. It's a CDM 750. It's a commercial deal, and I'm going to throw it in the mobile. Figure why not? I've got a bunch of them around here, so throw one in there and get the mobile going again. So that should be fun. But, yeah, I'm not going to stick around, John. I just wanted to say hello to you, and I will say hello to Chris again and Miss Jeannie and Nick and whoever else is listening. But with that, I'm going to clear out of here, get my dishes done, get my floor mopped, and head to bed. So 73, gentlemen. KD8EPC is clear and listening out.
73, Dustin.
73, Dustin. Oh, going to Finley Park at 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock Saturday.
Ooh, Finley Park. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I was tempted to leave town, go spend some time with the family in New York, but if I'm in the area, I probably don't have a whole lot going on that I couldn't sneak off for some POTA, maybe catch up with old friends, and maybe make some new ones. But yeah, cool. I'll look that up.
Good night, Jeannie. Good night, Dustin. Good night, everybody. I'm going to be listening out. I'm going to correct a few errors in my log here. And with that, we'll catch you soon. And I got to build a chair. So with that, we'll catch you soon. KD2HCE.
Hey, good night, Chris. Mr. KD2HC. Anyway, it looks like everybody's cleared, so I'll be here listening on the side. Hope everyone has a great night. W2JLS.
John. Where in New York are you going?
Chris, if I go, it'll be up. My parents live in Elmira. My sister lives just outside of Horseheads, up on a hill called Terry Hill. It's a nice little place to operate radio, and I have done at different times when I go home. But yeah, it's like the southern tier of New York State, and kind of the southern portion of the Finger Lakes region. I'm sure you must be familiar.
Yep, I am. My uncle, my late uncle, late aunt, late cousins, all lived just outside Liberty. If you're familiar with the Quickway, 17 goes from Harrison up through Corning all the way up that way, and they call it the Quickway, and it was pretty cool. They lived in Parksville on Cooley Mountain, and Cooley, and what was funny is I asked them, why do they call it Cooley Mountain? Well, when you fly over, and they didn't finish the sentence, so we'll leave it at that. So, and you look at the topography, and really, the street goes right up, and it really kind of fit. So it was funny, and only a New Yorker would put that together. So it was really funny. So we had a growing up fun with that. But they were in Cooley, New York, and the directions from where we were, Low State, is you go up 87 to 17, and you go to the first traffic light, which was exit 98, and you make a right, go 4 miles, and then that's the driveway, and you pull up the driveway, and they lived on top of the mountain. And he was up there, and he had a CB. He had a Lafayette 23-channel CB with a Lafayette half-wave antenna, and you can hear him all the way down the Wurtsboro Hill. He was a good 50 miles with 4 watts or 5 watts. It was just amazing he had such altitude up there. So, yeah, I know how things work up there, so it's pretty cool, KD2HCE.
Cooley Mountain, I can only imagine where your head's going with that, the part you're leaving out, but and if it's going where I think it is kind of funny, kind of slang from the 80s, maybe. Yeah, and I just poked my head online and took a look at that part of New York. It's a very beautiful part of the state, kind of God's country, and God, you could probably truly have a field day operating radio on top of one of those summits. It looks like there are 7 associated with that particular mountain. Very, very nice. Can't say I've been there, but I've been near there.
Yeah, he went from downstate, like New Rochelle. He bought an old school. It was actually the Parksville post office, and the old schoolhouse. He bought it, and it was like Little House on the Prairie schoolhouse. I mean, it was that shaped building, and he walked up the stairs, and it was a schoolhouse. So he added an addition onto the back of it. His bedroom was on the first floor. He put a basement underneath it, dug it out, and made a 3rd floor, basically. So he made a basement that went underneath the schoolhouse and went across the whole house. So underneath the original building and the new building had a full basement with storage. And on the extension, which was the 1st floor and a 2nd floor, he made a bedroom for his daughters, and then above the schoolhouse in what would have been the attic, he put bunk beds in a tuck into the slope of the roof, and he had cutaway bunk beds into that. They had a bathroom upstairs, all well water. He originally had an outhouse, and it was rough living at first, but he modernized it for internal plumbing after a while. Took him a few years to get it up to up to living standards, but yeah, it was roughing it at first. In the winter, you got splinters. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that does sound nice. Very, very cool. I was blessed as a kid with having friends that had lake cottages and such, and always had a good thing to do on weekends if you were invited out to hang out at the lake. And for me, I mean, those were Finger Lakes, but really a lot of people lived like that, where they had really nice circumstances and in rural settings that were very pretty. And I don't think most people, when they think of New York State, they're thinking along those lines. But yeah, it sounds like that was a really nice situation that they had there. Gosh, what else was I going to say to you? Oh, I was going to ask. I just cut my power level on this radio down in half. I'm just kind of curious if my sound quality changed at all. Back over to you, Chris.
Carrier drop. I don't notice anything, but I'm running about 1.5 watts right now. But I got the beam pointing at the at the repeater, so 1.5 watts. I shouldn't be crackling at all.
Oh no, you sound fine. I typically am hitting this repeater with I'm just using too much power, more than I clearly need. And when I recently modeled my radiation, my RF, I was thinking about, hey, I should really try to pay better attention to using maybe less power when I can. So I've got this cut back, like I say, in half, which is 25 watts, which is probably still way overboard, hitting the repeater from Farallon. So just curious if there was any impact.
Well, nothing here, and I'm running 2.5 watts right now. That's it, 2.5 watts. That's all the radio drops down to. But yeah, that's it. And, but I also have the beam, so I don't need anything. I started out at 50, but I turned it down halfway through. When I put the microphone on the last time, I dropped it down.
KC3 QFC.
Go ahead and jump in there, buddy.
W2JLS, KC3 QFC. I did notice a little bit on the edges, at least coming through on the All-Star node, you do have a little bit of fuzz, but other than that, you're 100%. At least that's what I'm getting when you did that power drop. But I've returned. Sorry about that. I had to quickly step away. I had a car go off the road and then roll over, so I had to stop and assist them, but everything's fine. Seems like everybody's okay. So I did my good deeds, and now we're continuing on. But 73s to those who left that may be still listening. I believe it goes, I don't know who it goes to, KC3 QFC.
I think that was back to you, Chris.
A momentary lapse of RF. Yeah. I was looking at your page there, John, and I see you're logging 40 meters. How come you don't stop in on my net? Shame on you.
I have been on your net, but it's been a long time, and there have been at least a time or two, I would say, in the last couple of months where I'm pretty sure I heard your net and heard you in there, and I don't remember if I jumped in or not. I'm not always religious about keeping a log when I am screwing around on HF. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I don't remember. I don't remember jumping in and saying hello, but sometimes I'm just listening, you know. And FedEx, Mike, good to hear you out there. Good on you for helping those folks out. Hope the circumstances are under control. It sounds like they are. And I didn't pick up if you were talking earlier. If you're out in New York, it seems like the last couple of times I heard you, you were driving out in parts in and around Binghamton, if I remember correctly. So anyway, back over to you.
W2JLS KC3QFC. Indeed, I'm still out here on 88, about 15 miles out of Sydney, rolling westbound right now back to Binghamton, and then drop his trailer off and then roll for Rochester. Well, not necessarily Rochester, but we call it East Rock. It's actually Farmington, but right there off of Colette Road. But yeah, we're still up here in New York. We've been, out here last 2-3 months. I believe it was the end of January that I came up here, so maybe it was longer, beginning of February anyhow. And I haven't been back down to the house since. But the wallet's real happy about it, I will say that. And the wallet is indeed happier. But yeah, they're okay. They just seem to either not been paying attention and overcorrected the car. I'm just glad I was paying attention, because that could have been a lot worse. But yeah, it's good. It's been a while since I've heard you, John. So glad to know you're still around. Over to you, Chris. I don't have your call sign memorized just yet. I need to hear it a few more times. Go ahead, Chris. KC3 QFC.
KC3 QFC. You'll remember it this way: King David #2, his children endure. KD2HCE. Yeah, I found that one in it, and it coined pretty good. So, yeah, I'm a New York transplant, as you can tell. It's a 2-call, and I'm out here in Medina, and I don't know where Titusville is in PA, but you're another one that got 40 meters, so why don't you check into the net, too, when you're home. It's shameful plug. I'm Tuesday evening NCS for the U.S. Awards Net, United States Traffic Net, and we meet on 7.189 at 6:30. I'm going to talk Eastern because we're all in the Eastern time zone. And then where the Beacon Net was on Friday nights, I run that HF net for the UST net also. So Friday nights on 80, and every night but Saturday on 7.189 we have a net. So again, it's easy. It's easy you can get all the information on my QRZ and get to the web page and get all the information you want. So again, thanks for remembering me, Michael. And yeah, I remember FedEx Mike, but I never remembered your call sign either. So glad you're safe. Glad you helped out over there. I do random acts of kindness like that also. So next over to John, KD2HCE.
W2JLS returning. Yeah, Mike, that part of New York I am familiar with. Sydney, I had a good friend in early in my academic life. I was up in Potsdam at the time at Clarkson University. I had one of my good friends, and real smart guy, an engineer. He was from Sydney, and that was probably how I first learned of it. But yeah, cool. Nice to know we got folks out there from Ohio wandering around upstate New York making money. It's always a good thing. Gosh, I don't know. I'm just hanging out here in the radio room and was messing around with some Dremel tools. I picked up a Dremel and I've never owned one. I don't know why, but decided it would be handy for certain things I have going on right now. So went ahead and scooped one up in a bunch of these little kits that have different fixtures, a router kit, a carving kit, a drill bit kit, and then whatever came standard with this thing. So I'm messing around with that tonight down here in the radio room. Back over to you, FedEx Mike. Maybe we leave a pause, see if anyone else wants to jump in there. KC3QFC from W2JLS.
And nothing there. Nothing. I can't speak today. Nothing heard there. W2GLS, KC3QFC. And Chris, I would be more than happy to join those because I do have the capability with me. However, there's one teensy-weensy problem with that. My night usually starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, unfortunately, right when the HS nets really start, the key is turned and the wheels start turning. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to join that or not. I do have a meter mono band dipole antenna with me. Actually, I have a 40, 20, 10 meter mono band dipoles with me, and then I have a multi-band dipole also with me. So I do have HS capability on the Yaesu 991 and power to be able to be supplied. So I do tend to, the morning before I roll over and go toes up, if I take a moment, I do pull out the radio and play around in the yard there. Actually, I've gotten quite a few people interested in ham radio from FedEx, so who knows? Got them steered in the right direction to a local club there in Binghamton, and maybe they'll go out and get their license, and we'll be able to hear them on air. I don't know. I can only do so much. But if it runs Saturday nights, we'll see if we can't get everything set up and try to join in from downtown Rochester on that net. Definitely can't do anything right now because I am driving. Can't write anything down, but I'm sure Nick would know all that information, be able to me, or if I ask him about it. Or if you drop me a message, that'd be great too, at kc3qfc@gmail.com. I'll be able to get all that information there too. Over to you, Chris. Yeah, that call sign just escaped me. KC3QFC.
KC3QFC, KD2HCE. Kind of rhymes, but yeah, King David, number 2, his children endure. So that's the phonetic that I use for mine. If people have a hard time, Jeannie always backs my suffix up. So we do that to her, and she's like, "Oh, I got it backwards again." So yeah, Jeannie. So a lot of people mess up the Hotel Charlie Echo and dyslexic, so it just sounds better. I don't know why, but I didn't get that combination. So, yeah. Saturday night's the only net we don't have, and we're probably going to, it's the only 40 meter, we don't have any net right now. So we have 80 on Friday, and it's Sunday to Friday on 40. Saturday's home with the family. We're looking for NCSs for 80 meters for Sunday and Saturday. And again, that's a 9:30 p.m. net that we would run. So if you know anyone that would be interested, they got to be looking into popping on the net first and get introduced. So that's just an idea. So with that, Mr. JLS, your turn, KD2HCE.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, I'll definitely check in on Sunday nights. I'll have to before before you clear tonight, maybe on your next over, give it to me again. I'll take it down and make a note of the time and such. I would say there's a good chance I could be involved, popping my head in there at least every other Sunday. I've got some ample opportunity, I would think, every other Sunday, but probably not every Sunday. And yeah, that'd be cool. I do like messing around on HF in the evenings, 40 and 80. So for sure. Yeah, and I don't know if that's the same net you were running like 2 years ago when I first caught up with you on the radio, but I remember operating in the backyard. I was out there on my inverted V, and I remember being surprised that I was hearing you because I only ever heard you on the repeater at that point. Anyway, W2JLS, passing it. I guess we're off to KC3QFC out there and on the road.
W8WKY.
KD2JLS, KC3QFC. Hopefully I'm making it in. I think I'm getting ready to a dead spot for Verizon, so hopefully I don't drop out. Saturday nights, 9 o'clock, 9:30, I'm open. I'd have to see if I have enough room there at the house to deploy the antenna that I have. I can use 80 meters on. Sunday night, it's kind of a hit and miss on whether or not I would make that, because Sunday nights I usually start at about 9-ish with a 3-hour backwards and forwards slot, so to speak. But yeah, Saturday nights wouldn't be so bad for HF. I usually try to play around starting at 6 o'clock-ish. I don't know. We will definitely have to, but that's one of the downfalls of being a driver for FedEx is I'm out on the road 6 days a week, starting Sunday and then ending Saturday about 2 to 4 a.m. Saturday morning. So there's that. Over to you, Chris, KD2HCE, I believe is what it is. Hard to roll off the tongue. KC3, QSC.
KC3QFC, you got it right that time. See, I drive 80. I drive to Westchester County, where the 95. If you've driven 95 in the corridor, there was only one toll booth. That was in New Rochelle. I live within a mile of that infamous toll booth. That's not there anymore. It's just a Easy Pass overhead. But that toll booth, I live within a mile of that almost 40 years of my life. Different sides of it, but within a mile as the crow flies from that toll booth. So that's where I grew up. My parents are still there. Mom and Pop are still around. Mom's going to be 86 this year. So she's still hanging around. My aunt passed away last year. Her eldest sister reached 100, so Mom's gonna be around for a few more. So I make that trip a couple of times a year. My sister-in-law's up. My sister-in-law's up in Dutchess County. She's up in the Poughkeepsie area in Pleasant Valley. She's off the Taconic Parkway. You don't drive that parkway, but she's 84 in the Taconic, probably another 15, 20 minutes north of there. So you're familiar with that if you've driven 84. And when we go that way, we take 80 to 81 to 84 and over that way. But when we go to Mom's, it's 80 to the GW, Pop gave me an Easy Pass, so we don't pay nothing. And then drive the 40 minutes across the 5 miles of the Cross Bronx. So that's normal. So that's what we're kind of normal there. So I just wanted to touch base. If you've ever driven 80 this way from the Poconos towards here and saw the one exit called Scott Run, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't read that when you're tired after a day of work, and at 2 in the morning. Roger? So over to John, W2JLS, KD2HCE.
Scott Run. Wonder what you read at 2 in the morning on that one. Yeah, I'm still sitting here screwing around with this Dremel, and one of the things I'm learning here is you need different call-its to go with these different tool adapters, and I don't know if this thing came with any call-its other than the one that it showed up with, and that doesn't seem to acquit many of the primary kit stuff that I've got, so I'm going to have to go buy some call-its, I do believe. I'm at a loss on this over for anything good to share, other than it's really good to hear both of you out there, and it's been fun catching up with the crew here on the radio tonight. So with that, W2JLS headed it on back to New York with KC3QFC.
Yeah. Thanks there, John. I can't. Oh boy, KC3QFC for ID. I know exactly what exit you are talking about. I have been across there, and that sign definitely causes you to do a double take at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's not what the sign reads, especially about the end of your run. I used to finish up on the return trip across there at about 5 o'clock in the morning at Lamar. So right there, the Pilot J. Not the Pilot J. Jesus, cramity crickets. The Flying J there across from the TA. I'm very familiar with that sign, and you have now officially put coffee on the steering wheel. Congratulations. That brought a tear to my eye. I'm familiar with the 84 there. I used to pick up in Scranton just above the airport and run out to Hartford, Connecticut. And let me tell you, running out across 84 there, I can't remember what the name of the bridge is, but boy, that thing is high. Wouldn't want another episode of, was it Minnesota that the bridge collapsed? Because you are definitely going for a trip on that bridge if that was to ever break apart. But, oh boy, I really love that one. That was a good one. Back over to KD2, Charlie Echo from Kilo Charlie 3, Quebec Foxtrot Charlie.
KC3QFC, KD2HCE, yeah. That one, There's also further west on 80, all trucks to Leaper. That has a different meaning for some hotline somewhere. All trucks to Leaper. I guess they were having a bad day, and they have a big yellow sign just for truck drivers. I don't know. So that's what we consider when we're driving a car. Like, all trucks are going that way, but we don't see all the trucks getting off there. So I don't know how bad their days are or not. That other bridge is the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. That's also the bridge in Die Hard, that when the pickup truck, where they're going after the big boat, they were on that bridge when the pickup truck was winching the boat, the big ocean boat, and the pickup truck went off the bridge. That was that same bridge. So that was the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. So over to you, W2JLS, KD2HCE.
W2JLS returning. Apologize again. I was distracted a little bit by a text, and still hanging out here listening. I'm enjoying two different beverages tonight. The first was a Kronbacher, the Hell varietal, imported from Germany, and then that's gone, and that was enjoyable. Now I'm enjoying a nice bottle of one of the Weinstephaner Hefe Weissbier from Bavaria, also German. So kind of set the wine aside tonight and sipping some of the fine craft from Germany. Thought you'd like to know. W2JLS passing it along over to you, FedEx, Mike.
Yeah, left a little pause there. W2JLS, KC3QSC. To answer that question, there's two routes up to Lieber. I'm very, very familiar with that area. While I lived in Clarion, just not that far from exit 60 where the Walmart is. I believe that's 62. I was maybe half a mile northeast of that exit, and then I ended up moving over into the Lieber area, up north of Lucinda on 66 there. But a lot of that was they were having problems with drivers running through the forest, and it can get treacherous in the wintertime in that area, so they started diverting trucks further down the road, which, I mean, either way you go, you can still make it. I've oftentimes worked for CarMate Trailers out of Lieber, Pennsylvania, and they're not that far off that road, so I know exactly where you're talking about. If you go further on west there, exit 29, the Barkeyville exit, if you run directly north on Route 8, you will run into Titusville, Pennsylvania, which, fun fact about Titusville, it is the birthplace of the oil industry. So there's a little fun fact. The date memorized, but a lot of things have happened, and that date is slipping my head right now. Yeah, it's right there off X29, and just follow Route 8 north. Of course, you got to go through the infamous Radar Valley. That's where I got my last ticket. 6 years ago? That was a fun story. To you, KD2HCE from KC3QFC.
KC3QFC, KD2HCE. When I bought the XYL out here, when I bought this house, and I brought her out, we first came out, I picked her up in my now historical Geo Prism. It's 25 years old. It's got historical plates, but I had to put the regular plates on because I still drive it. It still drives. But I got the historical plates unbolted to the car in the garage, of course. I paid for them. I'm keeping the plate. And when we had to go back and pick up her car, we had to go to New York to pick up her car, so we rented a car to go there. And the big hill by mile 100, I think it's 100, 101, where the big downhill is, going eastbound, the highest point east of the Mississippi. Well, that's where she got her last ticket. She was doing the speed of light and the speed of sound zone. And to quote Robin Williams, she didn't hear the sirens till after he wrote the ticket. So, yeah, that was the last ticket she got. But she got it lessened because she played the tier card, and she had to go potty. So he wrote it for 20 miles an hour less than what she was doing. So, yeah, that was the last ticket she's gotten. And she came out here, and she wasn't used to the road rage that's in Medina County. And it's when you come to a four-way stop sign, and everyone wants you to go first when you're the last one to get to the stop sign. So it's pretty funny. And she's like, what was that? They want you to go, and if you don't go, they're going to get angry. Okay. She had Connecticut plates on the car at the time. So it was really kind of funny. John, I'm not a beer drinker. have this stuff called, and you know it from New York, called Everclear. You can put that in your gas tank if your car can handle it. If it's a flex fuel car, a little expensive, but we flavor it. So I have strawberry lemonade and blue Jolly Rancher right now, and those are the two flavors I have on tap. This winter, I didn't bring back any in the spring, and they didn't make any hot apple pie, which is one of the other good flavors. So with that, W2JLS, KD2HCE, over to you.
KD2HCE, W2JLS returning. I do not do Everclear. I don't do much liquor, period. Everclear just, it's one of those things, you know, when back in the day when I would experience it, it was always mixed with something, but that stuff will just get you into trouble. Seems like the girls back in the college days would sometimes use that to make electric Jello. And there again, by the time you're taking down electric Jello, you end up you're getting hit with an awful lot quickly, and kind of all at once, the way that the Jello effect works. So, yeah, the 2 or 3 times I may have experienced Everclear are memorable, but yeah, as an adult, generally I try not to go too far down that path. And then when I do, it's typically like a vodka martini or a gin and tonic or something like that. I'm more the wine guy, really, and even that I've cut back on. And I enjoyed beer though for years, especially when it's hot out or in the college years. But then I got picky and liked good beer, and eventually I just stopped drinking beer altogether unless it was really hot out and it was there, and focused on the wine. But anyway, guys, I'm going to clear on out of here. It was good chatting with you, you both, and anyone else that is still listening, Dustin and Nick, Miss Jeannie. Apologize if I'm forgetting anybody. I think those are the folks I've run into on the whiskey tonight. This is W2JLS. I'll be listening out for a little while, but need to focus on doing some damage with this Dremel.
It's W2JLS, KC3, QFC. Left a little pause there. That 101 is the Penfield area in Pennsylvania. I'm familiar with that. And the other side of the hill that you're talking about is the one that drops down into Milesburg. It's the bottom of the hills at like the 156-ish area, I believe. 153, 156, somewhere there. So I'm quite familiar with that area. But a side note, unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to jump out of here. I have to make some phone calls since I'm getting close to my drop-off destination. But definitely been a pleasure to chat with both of you, and it's a pleasure to catch back up with you, John. So at this rate, I will go ahead and say 73s at this time and be clear on your final. Over to you, KD2HCE from KC3 QFC.
KC3 QFC, pleasure's been mine. We'll talk to you more often, and hopefully we'll start up. Like I said, we're off on Saturday nights on the net. You can get my call sign from Nick next time you talk to him when you're near a pen, and look on my QRZ to get the information. For John, W2JLS, I have a Dremel. I have a rotary tool. I have the 12-volt DC version, so you can plug it into a cigarette lighter and do some emergency stuff in the car. And then I got a real Dremel. But you want to go to Harbor Freight, they have a Warrior rotary accessory kit. It's 276 pieces, and it's got most everything you'll ever need. But again, it's Harbor Freight, so you get what you pay for, but you get all these pieces, and then the ones that you break, you'll replace the ones that you find out you need. You go to Walmart and get the real Dremel replacements for just those and put them back in this carrier. So you'll have your whole repertoire with you, but like I said, when the Harbor Freight bits break, you get the real Dremel brand replacements for it and put them back in those slots in this carrier. So you'll have everything with you, but that's how I did it. May work differently for you, but again, 7-3 everybody, KD28CE is clear. I'm going to go build a chair because this one's about to break. So with that, 7-3 everybody, we'll catch you soon. Poof, I'm gone.
W8WKY. go, labor on, as perhaps you imagine. On the contrary, it is stop, turn back, come to me and rest. Never, never did Christ send a heavy-laden one to work. Never, never did he send a hungry one, a weary one, a sick or...
Got it.
It's working good here today. Outside, and I still work for a living. I do it remotely by my laptop now.
It's nice that you move and go see your family. It's always good.
You take care, buddy. I'll step outside 73. You take care of yourself, all right?
I'll try.
That's kind of what I'm maybe the ending of June. Motherfucker, what I get, motherfucker.
Today. And I think one of these days it's gonna be going. We're heading up into the 80s one of these days, and it's not definitely not tomorrow. I think it's probably Thursday or Friday. But June, July, August, them time there, yeah. We're gonna have them one of them. We'll have to draw for the AC units and stick them up to the windows and all them things, and then everybody gonna start complaining saying too hot. And
your radio's on frequency.
I'm on 7.218.00, and so I guess that's what your radio is. The frequency's on. So
on the spur of the moment, and then we regret it later on. But yeah, Royce, I know exactly what you're talking about.
United America. So anyway, I've had a whole lot of fun.
Regime met in Moscow and agreed to continue tripartite meetings to ensure stability in Syria and the wider region. Iran was also included, with Turkey saying earlier that Ankara will be pleased if Iran is involved in this process. And sports. Lionel Messi on Monday was named Sportsman of the Year at the Laureus World Sports Awards. History maker Lionel Messi is the first ever athlete to win the Laureus World